Hey, it's the Bennington Show on a Thursday? Oh, it's on a Thursday. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
I'm Ron Bennington. Let's just say Happy Married Day. Happy Married Day.
Happy married day to Go Pack Joe and Crystal.
I believe they were at all the comedy festivals this year and now married. I think it's in Sri Lanka.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
I like his costume. It looks very comfy.
Yeah. And now, does she have to join the CIA, or they don't force everybody to do that? Don't even say that, dude. I travel a lot. That's all. But I don't want that to get attached to me when I'm trying to go through borders.
Suspicious.
Well, God bless them. That's pretty cool.
That dress
Sri Lanka.
is so pretty.
It is. It's very native to the world of Sri Lanka, I believe. And Go Pack Joe is... I think working as an astronaut right now, or one of those guys in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. If he put on sunglasses, he'd look exactly like Close Encounters. Well, Chris is getting married in Paris.
Congratulations.
Barcelona news out of there. A van crashed into a bunch of people. Believe it's a terrorist attack. But the president of Spain said there's good people on both sides. There's a lot of fine people on both sides of this.
Seems to be a theme.
At this point, the guy had a legal license.
Right.
And the people in the street didn't. So off we go. Just another day, another act of terror. Hi, Earth. You're fucking nuts. Two armed men enter the restaurant after the van hits the crowd. That's their other fucking weird gimmick, that they try to have that second attack after the first one. I guess they get everybody running in one direction.
Right.
And that makes it easy to go in and have a suicide mission on the other part of town.
Yeah, it's weird, the stuff that's become trendy.
Well, it's not, it's hack, really. If you think about it, it's not your bit.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody else is doing that bit for a while. All right, Earth, thank you for being so fucking weird. Jackie the Joke Man's going to be here later today, which
I can't wait.
Always fun. He gave me this card. I don't know if you got one, Gail, when you saw
I did, yeah.
And it has all the guitar picks in it. It's because most people play the guitar and they have a pick and then they look down there like, oh yeah, Jackie's got a book coming out.
It's a great way to promote to a specific group of people.
From bow to stern. Get it? That's what he did. He tied it all in together. I think Artie is going to do the foreword on it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
I've gotten blurbs before, but never a forward. I like a nice blurb.
But a forward is also like
work.
It is a lot of work. You seem like you really have to sum things up, get the tone set.
Yeah.
It's being someone's opener, essentially.
MC opener. Yeah, you're doing both. This next gentleman, whose book you've already bought. And you're like, please don't flip over my part of this. I only have a page. I like a forward that goes on for 4 or 5 pages.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, fuck, I forgot somebody else is writing a book.
Just like, guy. Continue reading this.
I'm hoping to write the Vito's forward. He's just going at Meatball based on his knowledge of Big Brother 19. Boy, they hate Kevin now.
Yeah, all because he told everybody that Cody had a kid.
Why is that bad?
Cody asked him not to tell anybody, and then he went around and told everybody. So the fan base is pissed, and inside the house, everybody's pissed because they think he just betrayed them.
By having a kid?
Now, I'm going to say something unpopular because I know the world loves Cody.
Yeah.
But I think that this is like a very weird thing is that Kevin was upset about missing his daughters. He's like, let me tell you a little secret. I, too, am a dad. And I know exactly how you feel. Why? Because I have her for the summer months and I haven't brought her up in 3 months. time. I'm just like, well, it seems like maybe less than.
It's, first of all, that's a lot for a divorced dad. It's more.
I mean, come on.
Look, I set up something nice for you in the garage. So, I mean, it's kind of like having your own apartment and with a really big front door.
And I know people love him, but his social game and social skills are so
Nobody
off.
loves Cody. I don't know why you got into that.
He's like number one on fan favorite.
Is that right?
Jokers, he's number one. He shot up there.
I thought he was the lunatic of the season.
No.
After
See, the
he
thing
turned
is,
on Paul.
can we trust jokers for who's the fan favorite?
Twitter's also on Cody's side just because they hate Paul so much this year.
They love Jessica. You wouldn't believe that because she's so fucking cute. So what? She's an ass girl. She likes a lot of asshole stuff. That doesn't make you a bad person.
She likes to get
Big
up in.
Brothers doesn't even know what they're doing this year. You should do your own fucking. And you guys run the Kevin thing like there was no tomorrow.
Kevin Train.
And America hates him and parts of Europe.
Oh no!
Yeah, we look like idiots. We were really pushing Kevin last episode.
Why don't you step down from Big
I
Brothers?
can't step down from Big Brothers.
How about when you're away? I guess Vito will do a solo, right?
Yeah, he'll have to do a solo. Yes.
Let's just decide then whether you come back or not.
I think I should just be there. I'm just taking a week off because I'll be out of the country.
What's the dice thing on the front page of the iBank?
Dice was on Colbert last night.
Be less weird. What's that mean?
He talked.
Be less weird or be less wired? That's what I want to get to the bottom of. No, this Colbert, I mean, he's really on Trump. You know what I mean? Oh, boy.
He's got him in his crosshairs.
Mm-hmm. Him, Seth, both Jimmys, everybody but the Brit. You can see the Brit doesn't give a fuck about America.
He's like, that doesn't concern me.
Yeah. What's his name?
Karaoke.
James Colbert. Two guys, same family. It's fucking weird. They just give him a 2-hour block. I like the Scotsman from Faction. That's who I wish they would bring back. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, boy. I can't even look at this fucking TVs today.
Yeah.
TVs. Well, what is this, the future? I'm sitting here like the man who fell to the earth. I got fucking multiple TVs going. I'm inventing stereo equipment. There's nothing funnier than if you go back and watch the man who fell to earth and he was like a technical genius and he didn't even think computer. This is the best stereo ever. It's one of the things that he invented. It's a really, really great stereo. Does anyone even own a stereo? Is that something that people own?
I don't think people really do that anymore.
They have two little speakers on the side of their fucking laptop. Like, look, this gets even louder. I got the 6 inches fucking piping out my jams. This is the song of the summer right here.
I just put my phone in a cup. That seems to work just fine.
I didn't even know that.
Yes, you can put your phone in a cup, play your music, and then that will amplify.
Thanks for the hint,
Or a bowl.
Eloise. I'm really liking this.
You know, I've got a lot of little life hacks.
I'm just worried I'll pour coffee on my phone. This is great.
I should have mentioned that in my column. Make sure that bowl or cup is empty.
You on BuzzFeed?
What? By column, do you mean blog? Because I don't know what a column is. I'm not sick, but I'm not well.
I'm loving these 1998
I can't
alt
wait.
rock.
Can't wait for tomorrow. I'm going to fucking go crazy.
I saved one that I think you would be most excited for.
I hope it's...
Like, this was kind of my peak today.
I hope
Because you know
it's-
how I feel about Harvey Danger.
I'm really hoping it's sex and candy. If I get my way. I like sex and...
I also realized it was very hard to narrow down. So I just, like, focused on 1998 alone.
Smart.
Like, there was too many good ones.
Well, you know that
We're
day...
going to have to come back to this idea.
I read an article the other day. 1997, they've decided is the worst year in the history of rock. I think it's because Tell Me What You Want came out that year. And I Just Want to Fly.
Yeah.
And also, I think Walking on the Sun might have come out that year. It ain't no joke. That was fucking dad rock in when the kid was 22.
Yeah. Well, he kind of always wore dad shirts, right? Like that was his whole style.
He was Chris Stanley. He was the world's first Chris Stanley.
I ripped this guy off.
You actually do remind me a lot of Smash Mouth himself.
Love his body of work.
Just his body is what you love, you fucking weirdo.
Look, that could be Chris.
Oh, yeah. dance as well as he does.
I don't know. I think we're being a little hard on 1997. This is pretty cool.
I like their first name, Papier Sublime. Or as Chris says, Sublime.
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 This is the guy who gives me pronunciations of people before they walk into the
I know,
studio.
it's terrifying. But he's always so confident about it.
The two videos that our people are loving right now are the crying white supremacists and the white supremacist who took off his Nazi shirt so nobody would hit him.
It's kind of hard to pick the MVP of the Unite the Right between the two of them, because I feel like both of them could be the one who like kind of takes the cake.
Well, I would say this: if we're gonna promote my background, whiteness, we need some more Supremes for it to be supremacists. I don't want it to be these guys. Now, the guy who took off his shirt, I love him because he looks like Eminem.
He's actually great, and I appreciate, because it's good to know that those people make up that crowd. It's good to know that this is somebody who is like, I tried my hand at being an internet troll. Let's see how I fare IRL.
And he said it's
not
just
good.
fun to be racist. He says, I'm just doing it for fun.
I'm just having a good time with it. I didn't want to get punched or anything.
Right.
I just wanted to be racist and say offensive things. I didn't know.
I wanted to yell out, Jew will not replace us. I thought that would be cool.
I mean, it's fun to tweet that stuff.
Trump did like 8 to 10 tweets today. Just fucking came out firing.
Yeah, he was, sometimes he wakes up with a bee in his bonnet.
Yeah, he does.
And he's got a lot to say. And this morning was
Whenever I wake up before I put on my makeup, I send a little tweet to you. Fucking crazy. Anyway, both those things are up on the iBang right now. But it was a very smart idea. Just take off your... it's just a white shirt that he's taking off.
Yeah, I think
And
he
his
might
hat.
have had some sort of pro white supremacy type hat,
Yeah.
but I don't know what was on his shirt. I don't know. Was there like a tiny swastika emblem? I'm not really sure.
By the way, there's the cops in the tank. Why aren't they protecting him?
Yeah.
What were, I know you're not. We're supposed to support the cops, but they did not do a great job of keeping these people apart. When you're in New York, we have these things all the time, and they put them on different sides of the block with the cops standing in between, and then they yell shit like by 30 yards. These cops, you knew the night before, you knew fucking Tiki Torch night that shit was going to get weird.
Yeah. I mean, I've been to anti-war rallies where there was a section of pro-war people who just are like, we like war. And we had a good distance away from each other.
They do it all the time.
We could yell things at one another.
Well, we get it here in New York of different countries fighting. So people be near the UN, and one of them is saying our guy is a killer, and the other says our guy is nice, and the cops make sure that they're each in their own cages. These cops in fucking Virginia, it seemed like either there wasn't enough of them, but I know you got a state police force there. Whatever, just get a bunch of. See, that's the thing, we forget what it's like to have 18,000 cops. Here's another thing that they do in New York if there's a protest. Because I've walked past protests, and then you go 2 blocks over, and there's like 200-300 cops just sitting there. And if the protest turns bad, they run over. And if the protest stays nice, no one even sees them. But it's always weird to walk in the middle of 200 young cops, because you see that not all of them are the finest. You know what I mean? There's some really great cops. But when you have that many thousands of cops, a lot of them are not the best.
Yeah. And some of them look a little bit itchy for a rumble sometimes.
Tim, in Georgia.
Hey, Bennington.
Hey.
I saw this blurb on the internet, and I just didn't have it in me to click on it. Maybe you guys did. But Macklemore is apparently apologizing because his haircut used to be racist.
I bet that's fake news. Chris, get to the bottom of it.
I'd like to find out.
All right, so it's saying Macklemore informs critics questioning his racist haircut that he got rid of it.
Yeah, well, he did get rid of it. But what is a racist haircut?
I mean, is that the old Hitler used, tight
Yeah.
on the sides and floppy on the top?
Yeah.
The fuck boy.
I mean, in many ways, I kind of have an
No, that's only on the one
version.
site.
No, that's on both sides.
One site.
Oh,
Oh,
one
no,
side.
it's multiple sites. AOL and XXL are
Okay.
like that.
Double XL is a big trustable site. This is
That's,
the first I'm hearing of it.
It's a big hip hop website.
Didn't know that. I guess I'm not up on my hip hop news the way I used to be when I was younger. How the Fat Boys doing? Are they still climbing the charts?
A couple of them passed.
What was there? 3 altogether?
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 fat boys.
One wasn't fat enough, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like really, if you're going to be a fat boy, it's easy enough. Stop typing. You drive me fucking just buck wild today. But why did you take that old spot?
I don't like it over there. It's weird
I
being in the corner.
can't tell you how just the constant typing is not best radio.
I gotta get another
You gotta get
sound keyboard.
the silencer.
Or you just don't have to constantly, no matter what. Like, what are we going to do? See, the Fat Boys, this is not a visual fucking show. They don't do this in Paris, dude. You are not going to fit in there.
I'm gonna stick out like a fat thumb. Hope you're
Now-
not mean to me.
Have you considered flying all of us out there so it could be one of those, like those engagements where it's like a surprise and everyone's there?
Yeah.
And,
I can't afford to fly everyone out to Paris. And
I know what your settlement is. You can afford it.
And I'm not getting engaged.
Well, you just have her do another slip and fall like your mom.
Jesus. There was no slip and fall.
she's going to be really confused if you don't propose there.
You think?
You don't just
I think she'd
go
be
to
more
Paris.
she'd be more confused if 7 people she doesn't know show up and come running out there. I don't think she met us once, but I don't think she could pick us out of a lineup.
Yay, we're here. The people you met once.
Oh.
Remember us from outside the stands?
Oh, you're a Christmas party. You dudes are great. Oh, you're hissy.
I've never heard her call anyone essay.
I bet Bronx Johnny just loves her, huh?
Yeah, they got along.
I bet he tries to steal her away.
Oh, my
fucked
God.
up.
You don't let them hang out alone, do you?
Oh, God, no. I can't speak Spanish.
Does Johnny?
Yeah, he says he does, but
Broken.
yeah, it's broken fucking Spanish.
The Spanglish.
Yeah,
New Eureka. Well, he's not Puerto Rican, is he?
No, but he tries to pass.
Yeah, because he does
He's
have
Central
Puerto Rican
American,
vibes.
Ecuadorians. That's South American, technically.
It is?
And it's
On
Ecuador's
the
like
Ecuador, so probably pretty low.
think of the top of South America,
Wouldn't that be the North?
north.
John, Jersey. John, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, Bennington?
Hey, man.
I'm pretty sure the Macklemore thing got started when like a Twitter account with the handle Fart called him out for having the Nazi haircut, to which Macklemore responded in like a serious way, even though I think he was probably messing with him.
Well, he's kind of admitting that he used to be a racist, at least. Like he's instead of just saying, "Hey, it's just hair."
It's just hair, and I
He
wasn't political.
Yeah, he's saying, "Oh, I got rid of it, dude." So you're the fucking racist now, not me. You're the racist for judging Macklemore.
If I was him, I would say there are also plenty of native people who had this haircut. Don't forget. So this is cultural appropriation, not racism.
If I was that Twitter person, I'd say Macklemore, more Mackle less. And I would just fucking put LOL there and a bunch of emojis of like a laughing fucking giraffe or something, whatever they do. Hey, thanks for sending me that slice of pizza.
Did you or the one who sent me the thing about people say the more emojis you use, the dumber you are?
And the less they respect you.
That they have, if you use emojis, they just respect you less. And I'm like, hey, I use emojis. I fucking love them. I think they're hilarious.
But who do you use them with? You wouldn't put it in a work thing, would you?
No, I wouldn't like send Wiki an email with an
That would be
emoji on
fucking
it.
great.
The eggplant emoji.
The monkey with its
Oh
eyes
my
closed.
God.
Just be like,
Chris.
hey, you're the bomb. Dude, stop it with the fucking eggplant stuff. We know what you mean by that, fucking Macklemore. You're seriously like our Macklemore.
So many ways.
With better hair, less racist hair, I'd say.
You don't have better hair than Macklemore.
You're definitely racist. The most fucking racist person I know.
Really?
Easily.
I mean, the most racist person I hang out with. 100%.
I feel like I'm not that racist.
And the only reason why you're with a Costa Rican is it makes you feel fucking superior.
I'm in an interracial relationship.
She is.
She's in an interspecies relationship.
I guarantee you, if you ever meet her family, they'll hate you.
I have a feeling like that's probably true.
Saying.
No, I'm just saying that because my family hates him.
I hate that guy, they said.
Hey, boss, I think she's really hot. Fucking Bronx Johnny. Bronx Johnny should go everywhere by unicycle.
That'd be great.
That should be his thing. Instead of a skateboard, just be. By the way, I'm seeing more people in New York using skateboarding as transportation, and I'm like, I thought this was fucking over.
No, it's still very much a thing. A lot of longboards. People cruising on longboards.
You know who does it all the time is Lou J. Gomez.
I didn't realize.
It's a tiny little skateboard. It's called something else.
But he's sweaty as a pig in the summer. I just see him, and he's like, I come here to do a set. I'm like, dude, fucking towel off. But, you know, he wears that Obey Gail shirt.
He does.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
He tells people he used to date you like 6 months ago.
I hope he doesn't say bad things about me.
No, Jay does, because you didn't date him.
Right.
I'm not sick, but I'm not well.
It was really a spring fling is what it was.
What's this I see that Justin's putting together 8 great Canadian comedies to add to your comedy watch list. Do people still have a watch list?
Yeah, they still have like a queue and stuff like that on Netflix.
I never had one.
Yeah, you can like bookmark things that you want to watch later.
You know what I don't like though is when they fucking put like what you did watch.
Yeah.
You know, because they share that Netflix account with people, and I'm just like,
no one's beeswax.
I want to watch this, but I don't want anybody else to know that I watched it.
That's why I got a separate. It's like one account, but there's like separate profiles because it started to be a thing. It was like, why does it keep suggesting things related to Charmed? It's like a lot of witch movies on here.
Because you watch a lot of witch stuff.
Yeah, Craft.
I just watch
episodes of Charmed.
I just watch Bye Bye Birdie as many times as I possibly can.
Well, you
Bye Bye Birdie.
You like to act it out while it's on.
It's fun. You know what? Who knows? Maybe one day I will be on Broadway. I do have Fosse hands, so
true.
Yeah. Anybody who calls those jazz hands is a dick.
Fosse hands.
I learned that the other night watching Jim Jeffries. He goes, if you call them jazz hands, obviously you haven't had training.
I didn't think there was any other way to watch a musical when I was a kid. Was it to like act it out while it was on? I thought that's how everybody enjoyed
I
it.
watch fucking cowboy movies that way. You know, what are you fucking into right now? What fucking TV are you going through?
Right now, I mean, I'm all in on Snowfall. That's like my favorite show right now.
Dude, guess what? I'm like 1 3/4 behind because it's gotten so boring. It's just constant.
That was one I was going to jump into, and now I'm thinking maybe.
Yeah, you can. Because your friend's in it.
Yeah.
He's the best thing in it, maybe.
Oh, that's very exciting.
Yeah. He's the one who isn't constantly screaming about, you know, if I can kill everybody. Just calm down. Let's have fucking 5 minutes. That was my biggest problem with Ozark is like, can we just have a meal or something? Does every person we meet, you know, try to throw a knife at us?
Right.
What is this, John Wick 2?
Yeah. Ozark was just a series of, we're fucked. I weaseled my way out of that one. We're fucked. I weaseled my way out of that one. Over and over and over. Like, this guy is resourceful.
Boom.
He's like a MacGyver of money laundering.
He's really good at it.
Maybe.
What the hell was that?
I don't know what that was.
Sounded like a fucking European police car.
Not sure if that came out of.
All right, want to send the kid in and try to get something going? What do we got as an opening for this, Chris?
I do not have an opening for this.
Out of all
Something
the Canadian
Canadian.
songs? Oh, Canada, something like that. Something production. Like we're producing and not just sitting. But we can do it on the fly while the show's going on. We can not type it all before the show and then constantly while it's on. This is where the opening
Right,
music
it
would
would be
be,
this
the promo.
Canadian.
Justin, I can't believe it. You've done some work. Very, very excited for you.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to say, I'm going to say I don't believe I'm an expert on Canadian comedy, but I have seen every Kids in the Hall, so I hope you pick that.
Oh, if I was doing shows, it would absolutely go in there. Like,
What about Brain Candy, my friend?
I haven't seen that one.
What?
Brain Candy. Oh, well, I guess that's on my to watch list now.
Now that's on your watch.
Okay, good. Watch list, it just seems like you're in trouble with the government. Like I can't fly now? Well, how do we get there?
But yeah,
No, we're not going to arrest you. We just don't want you on a plane. It's very weird. You know what I mean? It's like either arrest the person or let them on the plane.
You're free to go, but not go on vacation.
But yeah, these are movies I saw growing up. Like it's one of the benefits of having a brother that's 10 years older than you is that you get to see a lot of things you shouldn't have.
Yes,
So, yeah.
that's true. But what's the downside? A person who's had you in a headlock for your life. Huh?
Yeah.
What's wrong? Pussy calling mommy? Huh? Pussy calling mommy?
Let me go!
Fucker!
I'm getting for this.
Fucking kill you, motherfucker!
Oh, little brothers.
Yeah,
So
just the threats that little brothers make. I'm gonna fucking kill you! You're fucking dead! Just trying to fight, but you're crying. It's like the worst thing to try to make a point. You're the one who's
my God.
but
That's my childhood. You don't
yes,
understand.
it's every younger brother's childhood.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So, the first on my list is Bon Cop, Bad Cop. It's a Canadian buddy cop movie, and yeah, if you're not like familiar with it, it's yeah.
No,
basically
I've
it's
never heard of it.
Yeah, it's told in a way Americans will understand. Like they got proper subtitles and everything. Like the translations are good, so like you'll understand what they're saying. Like this French swear words, which is a big part of like the movie.
Now, where would I see this? On the CBC?
I've seen it on Netflix here actually.
I mean, let me know when that pops up because I do like foreign comedy.
yeah, Bon Cop, Bad Cop.
Yeah, and you really get inside the French-English tension of Canada and Quebec. So
Is it that tense? Do the
Yeah,
English
it-
hate the French?
yeah, it's just like it's back and forth of like who's in power, who's not, and just like just old resentments, really, you know.
Yeah.
So like that's what it always boils down to, and like everyone's got one rude experience with like someone who speaks the other language. So
Well, you know, I notice when we're in Montreal, I never see the Canadian flag.
yeah,
Just the Quebec flag.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
it's
very proud
crazy.
there.
yeah, still very very like nationalist.
And I've always
But that's not their nation.
Yeah,
That's their
no, yeah.
providence.
Yes, and that's why they'll never secede, because if they set the legal precedent that they can leave Canada, we as natives are going to do the same thing to them, and they're going to have legally about only the Quebec City, because Canada will legally recognize all the land claims, and they'll just basically take it back, all legally.
So Canada has said that.
Yeah, no, this is what
will.
we've done. This is what, and
Yeah.
what we as a Cree Nation, like we had our own referendum to say, yeah, well, if Quebec separates, we're peacing too, but we're peacing back to Canada because all our treaties are
Right.
signed with the Queen.
Wow, that's really
Interesting.
fucking. That's really. That should be the movie. That it does happen.
There's your fucking comedy, dude.
Yeah.
A comedy of errors.
But yeah, so and yeah, this next one is Canadian Bacon. I mean, it's a classic.
Sure.
When I first saw it, though, I didn't get it. I thought there was a war about to happen between Canada and the States because I was like that young. But the next time I saw it, you know, it's one of the funniest movies ever. Like Stephen Wright plays a Canadian border guard, and like John Candy really just, you know, at his best. This is like I think the last movie he made,
Yeah.
and
It didn't do well. People didn't like it. The critics didn't like it.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was one of those things that once it got to cable, it was a little bit of a cult
oh
thing.
yeah, totally. And yeah, I used to go to hockey camp in the States, and like Canadian Bacon was the most referenced movie when they were like busting my balls. So
Smart. Smart. Now, where'd you go to hockey camp?
like there was one place in Connecticut and another place. Yeah, I think it was all in Connecticut actually, or New Hampshire. There was one in New Hampshire.
Isn't it funny that when you go somewhere else, you get busted Your balls busted for something that you wouldn't get. Like people don't even consider you Canadian because of where you grew up.
Yeah.
You know.
Or like somebody else is like, you have a southern accent, and you're like, I wish that you could meet people I know.
Right.
Like I assure you, I don't.
Yeah.
I really, really don't.
Yeah, so that was one of my favorites too. And the next one is Strange Brew. It's drunk Canadian Hamlet, Shakespeare at his best. And like these guys, it's so over the top that it's just so funny.
Well,
And-
this was from SCTV, and it was like a little sketch, and then they blew up so big that they gave them a movie.
Yeah.
Is that what the catalyst was? Like,
Yeah, they were
from
on.
this movie?
These characters were on SCTV.
Yeah, and then they even poke fun at themselves as like they break the fourth wall a bunch. And,
Yeah.
it's really funny.
I remember seeing it many years ago when I was a little kid and just loving the shit out
Sure.
of it.
Yeah. And so this next one is probably actually my favorite. It's Goon.
I love Goon is one of my favorite comedies of all time.
Yeah. I mean, it was the first movie I've seen in a while where hockey was portrayed like with real like grit. And just about a tough guy who's taught how to skate and eventually makes his way to minor league hockey. And
Even though he's 5'6", he's a enforcer.
yeah, they overlooked that, but like Liam Shriver's like clearly based off like Marty McSorley.
He's amazing.
Yeah. One of my favorite parts is just punching the wall, getting psyched up for the fight.
Yeah.
It's just
Also, I love how they have that French Canadian fucking player in it.
Yeah,
It just skates his ass off.
Yeah.
They're like, ooh, people are fucking really good at skating. Not better.
Oh yeah,
In my
no,
neighborhood.
yeah. Quebec is to hockey what Texas is to football. Like it's just we
Racist.
Yeah. Oh, I can tell you.
By the way, it's always funny how there's pockets of the country that love football more, like high school football. But then there was a thing the other day. They will not stop. Now they're saying, are you a bad dad if you let your kid play football? Before it was, were you a bad parent? And now they're going, let's put it where it really belongs, on the dads.
They're the ones pushing for this.
I saw a thing of Mark Gastineau, who doesn't look well and apparently had a bunch of brain shit happen to him. But then he boxed for a little bit after he played football.
Oh, yeah?
And he also dated Brigitte Nelson, so who knows? Who knows what that'll do to your fucking head?
Right. I mean, I imagine she puts him in a headlock a couple times.
Oh no, that's been long over. That was short lived. He actually left football because he was dating her at his peak. I got a girlfriend. I got to go. That works if you're 13, with your team, but not when you're fucking 29.
Really want to focus on her right now.
Yeah, she's great.
Football's in the way.
Plus, I need to keep my weekends open, if we want to do any day trips or anything fun.
Brunch on Sunday.
She's got me smoking, so I'm much cooler than I used to be.
All right, yeah. So this next one is The Whole Nine Yards, and this is the first time I ever saw Montreal in like a major movie.
Is that right? Because there's a lot of movies shot in Montreal.
Oh yeah. It subs for almost any American city on the East Coast. But it was the first time where I really recognized it. And it's basically some Montrealers try to help this former mobster, start a new life. And it's really funny. First time I ever saw a naked woman holding a gun, so that was very exciting.
Good.
And
Kevin Pollak is
last.
not even recognizable in this.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know it's
Yeah.
Kevin Pollak at all.
Yeah. And it's just who's that big guy?
Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
He's pretty big.
Yeah,
Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah, Michael Clark Duncan. Yeah. He's in it too. He's hilarious, and it's a good movie.
Good.
And then this next one is Yoga Hosers. Like Kevin Smith has a love for Canada, and it shows in this movie.
I
actually
haven't
never
seen
saw
this
it.
one. No,
Yeah.
no. He's this is his daughter and Johnny Depp's daughter. Together.
It's
I
really
remember
cool.
they were making that movie, and I never saw it.
It starts off with this rock song that's kind of like Beastie Boys, but meets like power punk, like girl stuff, and it's really cool. They do their own version of "Oh Canada" that I think is better than the real version.
I don't know. It's a really good song, man.
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah, it's a really good song.
I mean, you guys definitely have us beat. as far as
I
national
love
anthem
whenever I'm
goes.
somewhere and we're playing Toronto baseball. I can get to sing both songs. Yeah, that's right. I don't go to hockey games. Thank you. You caught me. I don't care about hockey.
But it's good because it sounds almost like a drinking song. Like it's something like it's like a bar song or something. It's like everyone could like yell it.
It's easy to get into that thing. It's a nice chord for people with normal voices.
Yeah, it's like very middle of the road. It really makes sense with gang vocals.
Mm-hmm.
It's like our national anthem. We're just like all up and down the scale.
You got to be in the opera to sing that
Sense.
song.
That's a lot to ask.
And that's why pop stars fuck it up all the time. And then we're like, and everyone's like, hey, they don't even know the national anthem. I'm like, nobody does. You know it's a hard song.
Make it easy.
Let's be done with them. Thanks. Let's end it out.
All right, and this next one is my second favorite, but it is like the cult classic of Canadian cult classics. It's called Fubar.
Don't know it.
It's a documentary about these headbanger guys who just like refuse to grow up. All they do is party and just avoid.
Is that
the
just
future.
Canada?
Yeah, but like these guys are like they're so Canadian you can barely understand them. It's like watching a Guy Ritchie movie, but Canadian.
So this is a mockumentary?
Yeah, mockumentary, and but yeah, it's so funny. They made a sequel as well, and yeah, these guys are just so hilarious in character. Like, yeah.
That's one I'm definitely going to check out. That sounds up my alley.
Oh yeah, it's really funny. There's just like no responsibility with these guys at all. But yeah, it's really good.
And that's your last one?
No, the last one is the Trailer Park Boys the movie, which I'm sure Chris
Chris
loves
is the
as
only
well.
one, and he never explains them to us.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, trailer park life in Canada can get pretty greasy, pretty grimy. The standards are very low for what you need to do, just in general, whatever it is. But these guys, the boys in this movie, they try to raise the stakes even higher, but they're still really low when you think about it. Like, so
When did this movie come out? This is like
Mid 2000s.
yeah.
yeah.
Because the TV show was on for a long time in Canada. Then they got the movie that went out international.
And yeah, they have a few other movies that have some have gone to theaters and some are on Netflix, I think. But yeah.
All right, Canadian comedies. All right, this is a good job. Go talk to Vito about production and stuff like that, so we don't look like a bunch of daydream Johnnies. We'll take a break. Right back, Bennington. Summertime almost over. This is the Bennington Show. It went by so fast this year. I don't think that we had one day in New York that broke 90 this year.
No, this was not the typical disgusting New York August that we have had in the past. There was like a handful of even nice beach days. It was like a handful.
I can't get my tomatoes to ripen, and I bought them at the supermarket. But you need that. You need a couple hot nights. People are always saying that have gardens. I need a couple hot nights. I never know what that means.
Tomorrow, 2 p.m. is the premiere of the Greg Giraldo Life in Comedy. That's tomorrow at 2 p.m. Chris, who are all the comics who are part of that?
Colin Quinn, Dave Attell, Jim Gaffigan, Tom Papa, Lisa Lampanelli, Jim Norton, Nick DiPaolo, Robert Kelly, Rich Voss, Jim Florentine, Andy Kindler.
Could you do me a favor?
Yes.
Take some of the excitement out of your voice. I want you to be monotonous when you do this. Anyway, that's tomorrow, 2 p.m., and then all weekend long on Comedy Greats. Comedy Greats, it's 7:58, I think, isn't it? Something like that, or 1:15, 31, something. You'll find Comedy Greats. We'll tap our way into your hearts. So that's tomorrow, 2 o'clock. Our friend Anthony DeVito is supposed to stop in tomorrow, too. He's got a lot going on. And our buddy Dan Germain did Conan last night.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Conan, out of all the shows, seems to be kind of the loosest for you to go out there and do stand-up.
Right.
You know how the other shows, you seem like you got this set perfect? Conan seems more like, do whatever you want, man.
Just do your
It's
thing.
your time. Fill the space, Enjoy yourselves. Hot summer nights. I got this sent to me. Rosemary from the Dick Van Dyke Show has a doc coming about her life in show business, and she's going to the screenings. I had no idea she was still alive. 94 years old. That's 3 people from that show in their 90s and still very much involved in show business.
Yeah, that's impressive. That's a good run for that show.
I feel really bad for Maury Amsterdam. He missed 40 years of fun. I don't know when he died. He died fairly young, I believe.
Something must have been in the water, making them strong. The craft services water.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's the same water everybody on the lot is drinking. But they always try to act like it's water for some reason, don't they? Oh, water's great in that town. Everybody lives to be really old. They hurt. Everything hurts on them.
When I worked at a hotel, more than once, I had people call down and say, "Is it safe to drink the water here in New York?"
No. There's a little shrimp in it.
Makes it better.
Yes, it is totally safe, but not vegan.
Yes, it would be, this is not Michigan. You can just drink.
That would be quite the crisis if all of these millions of people were just drinking garbage water.
It's falling apart. We're very proud of the water here in New York City.
Is the shrimp thing true, though?
Yeah, it's true. It's like these little shrimp, like, I don't know, parasites.
They're delicious, though.
Oh, yeah, they make it. They make it.
They make our bagels so good.
I think they take out all like the bad shit out of the water.
They take all the bad shit out of the water.
Like what? Oh, you mean the shrimp
Shrimp.
cleaning the water? Is that what you're trying to say?
Water, yeah.
So they purposely put these shrimp in there?
Yeah.
He's making this up. He's teasing you. First of all, they're microscopic. They're not even shrimp. There's something that looks like shrimp. And we have microscopic things in the water, like all water.
It's not krill, is what you're saying.
It's not what?
Like krill. Just sea monkeys.
Oh, I didn't know what sea monkeys were. Krill.
Krill is like what whales eat and stuff. They were like teeny shrimps.
No, you'd be able to. No, you can't see it with your eyes. That's for sure. Summertime in Fayetteville. But yeah, summer's almost gone, and I know because we were talking about our Thanksgiving show with Hard Rock Johnny, and Gianni is what he wants to be called now.
It's always our favorite show of the year, and this one I'm very excited for.
Can we do something besides turkey this year? Maybe cream puffs? Everybody gets a lovely cream puff.
That'd be awesome.
Sounds good.
Summertime in Fayetteville.
I can love cream puffs.
Yeah, who doesn't? I don't think there's a human who doesn't like a cream puff.
What was it? There was like one cream puff place that got really popular.
It was like Papa Joe's or something
Yeah.
like that.
Beard Papa.
Beard Papa. Beard Papa. Yeah.
That place is awesome.
Yeah, that was out of control.
And I couldn't believe nobody had come up with this before. Because this was like in the middle of all like the cupcake wars and everybody was doing that. And they're like, we're going to do our own thing. Cream puffs.
Smart. Get out there on your own. I think the winner of all those things, though, is donuts. Donuts are more popular now than ever before.
Yeah.
Although when we have the intern show on Wednesday, Beard Papa.
I love it.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite donut in the city?
Donut Plant.
Donut Plant is great.
Yeah.
That's the one who does a lot of the square donuts and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, that place is fantastic.
You know, Brooklyn is even bigger than Manhattan for that.
Yeah.
Hold
There's
on.
a couple really great places in Brooklyn.
Hold on, Johnny heard his name, so. Johnny, you already.
I think that would have been the opposite. I actually called and then you started talking about me. It was very weird.
I don't think so, Johnny.
No, really.
Johnny, are you crabbing right now?
No, I'm sad
Why?
because the summertime's almost over, which means got to work on Fridays again, stop crabbing.
What if we just say we keep the not working on Fridays New York thing going the
Keep
whole
it
time?
rolling.
Right
I mean, I
now,
could try.
it's about not working on Thursdays.
I see we take crabs right into hunting season. Every Friday you go out,
Get some bucks.
shoot a couple buck.
Johnny, do you hunt at all?
No.
Why?
I don't know. I was never a hunter. I never got into I've actually never shot a gun. So I've never a bow and arrow, but never.
How
never
ironic.
went and hunted.
He never shot a gun, but that's the way he'll die.
Hey, wait a minute.
Oh my God, Johnny, that's
Now,
strange.
Johnny, I've never had a chance to ask you about your funeral plans. Do you want to be buried or cremated?
Buried, please.
Buried, huh?
Wait, before you commit to that, there's a new thing on the horizon. Dissolved. You can be dissolved.
Just no longer any trace of your physical body was ever here.
The way a lot of the Italians die. Dissolved.
Disappear. I don't know what happened to that guy. You know, it is a straight. So over the summer, unfortunately, my mother-in-law passed away, and
I'm sorry to hear that, Johnny.
She wanted to be like, she was very minimalist. She wanted cremation, no funeral, no mass, no dinner, no nothing. And now and she didn't want anyone to keep the ashes. So now we're stuck with, we're not sure what to really do with the remains of the remains. It's a very weird.
Why don't you just toss them somewhere?
We're gonna, but you don't want to just throw them in the garbage. I mean, you can't really just do that, right?
Why don't you toss them in the water when you're crabbing?
Crab spot. Yeah.
Crab. That's what we're thinking. That's what we're thinking, but it's just one of those. So maybe dissolving would be better.
Dissolving seems the way to go, and I kind of agree with your mother-in-law. I don't want to.
You don't want a big thing.
I don't want anything. You know what I mean?
Really?
I don't want to be disappointed by the turnout. You know?
You'll have a great turnout. I can't believe you would say that.
Now I would if I died today, but not when I plan on dying.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's just like a couple people.
Yeah. I come from my father actually planned his funeral. As weird as that may be.
What did he plan? What was nice? What was the plan?
Well, he had the whole, he actually had, so when he was going, he had a heart transplant about 18 years ago, and he didn't know if he was going to make it or not, so he actually had it down to who was going to be in what car in the procession.
But he's a little obsessive then. You know what I mean?
He was an engineer, and you know, he wrote his own obituary. And then before the surgery, told my oldest brother that there was something in the top right drawer that if something were to happen, that he needs to retrieve and follow the instructions.
What was it? Dildo?
That was his don't know. Never saw it.
Here's the deal with that. He should have had a funeral for his heart and just said, I'm here to bury my heart right now. I did not take care of it, but so what?
You know, it was the weirdest part of the whole surgery, aside from the fact that Dr. Oz did his surgery before he was like the TV Dr. Oz. Yeah, Oz did that, but like middle of the surgery, we were all waiting around, and he comes into the waiting, you know, the family waiting area, and he goes, "Okay, well, we've taken his heart out. We're about to start putting the new one in." And we're just sitting there like, wait a minute, he's got no heart at this point?
No, there was like an in-between zone.
Yeah, there's a thing where they're just running it on a machine. Of course, there's got to be.
Yeah.
Because imagine how complicated it is to snip all that and then put it all back together.
Right. It's not like...
No, he says, so Oz said it's actually it's a fairly easy surgery. There's four, you only really have four. He said it was like snip, zip, tie it up, and that's it. Like there's only 4 arteries, I think, that go into the heart. And he said it's fairly easy. It's a complicated process, but the actual replacement of the heart is very easy.
I just saw the pictures from Barcelona. Don't even turn around.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what I was not making. That's what I was making the fadest of. I don't even know anything Johnny said for the last fucking 15 minutes.
Oh my God. I'm not going to turn around.
When I call anymore.
Make sure Molly's not back there like she was that one summer.
All right.
I don't think she'd go back after all the terrible food she
I wouldn't go to Europe right now if I was anybody. You're fucking asking for it. These things come in threes.
Oh, Chris.
Well, that's not good.
Your
Chris,
engagement.
Hey, by the way, Chris, as you know, Johnny is going to Paris, and he showed me that he has he's got an Airbnb, but you have a little terrace.
Yeah, his balcony.
That's very romantic.
Really cute.
Place for you to smoke. And, although probably in France you can smoke anywhere.
It's a lot of the Airbnbs said no smoking. That's why I went for the terrace. But yeah, you should be able to smoke everywhere. It's Europe and it's France.
Yeah. You're right about both though. Oh, don't look. Yeah.
I can't. I won't.
It's fucking horrific.
It's really bad.
And you could also, see that the town's, there's bodies all over the place.
Jesus Christ.
This is that attack in Barcelona, and this is somebody shot on their phone.
I watched that video. It's not pretty.
No crabbing this weekend as we...
All right.
Johnny, what's the most crab you got one setting this year? Did you get 2 bushels?
No, it's been an off season.
Really?
Yep.
Because I was talking to friends of mine in Maryland and Delaware, and they're fucking getting crazy crabs. And then Julian called us yesterday.
Oh, yeah,
They bought a bushel of crabs and went crazy on it.
I have heard the crabs are returning.
They went south for the summer.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do, Johnny? You know what I mean? Who doesn't want to? You know, the ducks do it. Why shouldn't the crabs?
No, the ducks are here during the summer.
Yeah.
Hanging out in my backyard down the shore.
Well, not those kind of ducks. Not the late ducks. The kind of ducks you shoot.
Different
Not the kind of ducks that you throw fucking bread at.
I do constantly. They actually come up onto my by the back door and peck at our door now.
Your common bread duck.
I believe they're mallards.
Hey, when did your wife go back to school?
The Tuesday after Labor Day. She's a little later than most people are going back. I have to go back that Friday.
Good for her.
Yeah.
If I was still in school, I wouldn't go back until after Labor Day. I'm like, I don't care if you guys start 2 weeks earlier. I live the way traditional, kind of Confederate statues live. I go back at. I'm a traditionalist. Johnny, does this make you like Trump more or less?
Which part? There's a lot to dislike.
Yeah, the statue stuff.
I dislike him less.
Okay, so you like that he's doing that?
No, I do not like him at all, and any way, shape, or
dislike more than
you dislike him.
Less.
Yeah, because now you're saying
if you dislike him less, you like him more.
You think there's many sides to this?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
No, there's only really one side. There's no.
But you're saying there are some good people, including Trump.
There's some good racists, you said.
No, there's no good. I do love the video of that guy crying. That may have been my favorite thing I've seen today.
I like him, but I like Eminem as well. So I like them both.
It's really tricky. I might pick the dude who pops his shirt off as my favorite. But yeah, the tears are great too, because the tears are of sadness of the idea of being persecuted.
He's also saying, I'm terrified right now. And you're white, like a scary white supremacist.
Yeah, when he says the thing like, I feel a lot better when I have my weapon. Believe me, I'm cool. When I have my gun, I feel comfortable.
I'm cool as a cucumber when I have my gun. And he talks out of the side of his mouth for some reason.
Well, he's a sidewinder. What are you going to do, Johnny? All right, Johnny, enjoy tomorrow off, okay, buddy?
Thanks. You guys have a good weekend.
Yeah, you deserve it. Bye.
Get a couple bushels.
What's going on with that?
God, he didn't have to slam the phone on us.
I couldn't drop it. I don't know what the hell was going on. Chris, dissolve, buried, or burned?
Buried in mausoleum. As a kid, I always wanted to be in a fucking mausoleum.
Of your own?
Yeah, like my own, just me in a mausoleum.
So now, are you serious that you really want that for yourself? Because the chances of you getting that, you better buy it now with your settlement. It's expensive.
How expensive is a mausoleum?
Oh my God.
First of all, I'm not selling them.
Okay.
Second, you have to know that with the lack of space, I don't know whether you know this, but you can't be. It's tough to even be buried in New York if you don't already have your plot.
Yeah, we're running out of room here.
I didn't realize that.
This is becoming the land of the dead. It's not great. But yeah, think funerals are crazy expensive. If you just have a standard issue funeral, no extras, it's incredibly expensive. So I would imagine a little house for your dead body would be very expensive.
I've already put in for this. I'm like Johnny's dad. I have, decided I want everything I want. I'm going to have a destination funeral. Everybody has to fly to where I want to be buried. Beautiful spot.
I was close with him, but I don't get a lot of vacation time. This is hard.
I'm claustrophobic, so I'm going to have a giant coffin. Like about a 3-bedroom coffin. What about for you, Vito?
I already have a spot. I'm getting cremated. There's a 30-person Khaleesi little area by a mall in Jersey that I'm looking forward to end up at.
So you already have a little spot in the wall.
Yeah.
That's Vito's spot. Now, can I ask you?
In the wall or the ground?
In the wall.
Why do you want to be... the whole fucking point of being burnt is to be spread.
Yeah, it's just what I've grown up only understanding that your ashes get put into the wall. So to me, it's just completely normal. Like, I grew up going to visit my dad in the wall. And I'm like, oh, cool. Like, that's my spot right there.
Were you guys listening to the wall the whole time?
That's good. That's good. Now, Yeah, now I have to add, this is a weird thing. So you already know the spot, which I think that's weird enough. But did you guys already put your names there?
No, that would freak me out, and I wouldn't be able to deal with it. But I have been pointed out that is where you will most likely be.
I think it's straight, because some people will put the name in there as well.
Andrew, what's up?
Hey, you guys are talking about death. Over the weekend, Gilbert Gottfried's sister passed away, and the weird part of it, it's kind of funny, is I learned more about Gilbert and her sister's obituary than I have for like 25 years of listening to him on the radio.
Well, I hear that there's a documentary that they already ran at Tribeca and was about his sister being sick and her connection with Gilbert, and they say it's by far the most in-depth stuff for Gilbert that you've ever seen. But that's heartbreaking, and I understand that when they were at the Tribeca Film Festival, she was there, even though she was ill. Whatever the stage 4, whatever there's things that people get.
Yeah, breast. Right.
Yeah, that's really heartbreaking now.
Is that available anywhere, or just...
No, it hasn't been released. I don't have the date on it right now. I'll look at it later. But, I'm sure you'll certainly hear about it. But that's really sad.
Weird guy, man.
Yeah, he's great. Thanks for calling, Andrew. Peace. Dave. Philly, Dave.
Bennington.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, what do you think of the odds dropping for the Mayweather-McGregor fight? Started out at 26-1, now it's 3-1.
Well, it was the entire reason for this fucking smaller glove thing was to bring the odds down, but I can't imagine that it makes even slightly a difference. He's not going to fucking put a glove on him.
You going to watch it?
Yeah, I'm probably going to watch it since the whole world is. I'm going to waste my money with him. Just the same way I'm going to play that.
What about Stanley?
He steals his stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to get a bootleg stream of it.
That's terrible.
Why is it terrible? Those guys are each making over $100 million each.
It's still stealing.
It doesn't bother me.
He fucking steals from a 7-Eleven.
Just fills his pockets.
Yeah, I mean,
this candy's free, right?
Stealing is a fucking just a regular thing with him. John, you're on the Bennington Show.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Love the show, man. I've been
John and Mass, I haven't talked to you forever. How are you, pal?
Yeah. I miss you guys.
Same here.
I've been busy, sorry. But I wanted to tell Stanley, my dad passed like 3 years ago, and what do you call it? He had bought plots for him and my mother, figuring to save money for his kids and whatnot. And still, even with him buying the plot, it was like 20 large, and you're in the funeral home, and as they're mentioning all the stuff, you're going cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah.
It was $1,200 just for them to dig the hole for the plot.
Yeah, it's very, very expensive, Chris.
Might have to rethink this mausoleum thing.
I'm sure Vito has looked up mausoleum prices while we were sitting in here. But I had a friend who is a funeral director, and one thing that happens is he said one of the reasons why they're expensive is that a lot of people stiff them. He's like, we're the last to get paid. We're the last bill to get paid because everyone's like, I want everything there is for my mother. My mother was bride, And then you come around going like, well, I don't know. That's very expensive. Why do we get the ivory? What's a mausoleum go for, Vito?
So a 2-crypt one starts at around 28,000, but if you're looking for a walk-in, you're looking 120,000 to 585,000.
I mean, you're definitely gonna want to walk in.
You want to walk in? What's the point of just having a fucking drawer?
In my head, I wanted to walk in.
Yeah,
I was like, this is what I want someone to be able to walk in.
What do you think? You're Egyptian? Why don't you get a fucking pyramid for yourself? So what's a walk-in again?
A walk-in is $120,000 to $585,000.
You got that covered right now.
Yeah, you can make that happen.
I have nothing covered.
Get that instead of that trip to Paris.
Fucking Paris trip ain't gonna cost $500,000.
Well, I know, but by the time you're done spending all that fucking money,
Yeah, I mean, you need to invest in this. And you do want to walk in.
By the way, you know how fucking shady you're going to be looking that you're going over there with a Costa Rican? Like, why are you two together? A guy from fucking
passport.
Queens and a Costa Rican.
I mean, they're going to just think that just looking at the two of them. No, seriously, how are you guys together?
Why is she
lovely.
Why is she with you?
This is human trafficking, isn't it?
What, is he rich or something?
No.
Temporarily, he is.
Temporarily. He's about to be and then about not to be very quickly.
What do you want, Gail? I never even asked you.
I used to think cremated, but then like I wish more just like I would like my body to decompose. That's really what I want.
You can't get that.
I wish that you could. I wish that you could just get like open field, decompose into the earth.
You could get that if you're murdered by somebody. That could be, yeah.
Is that like I want it done, legally?
Like that little girl in Aruba, she got to that experience. Yeah, they don't allow that to happen under any circumstances.
I mean, I remember we had seen that one where they had ideas where you could be in this like little pod, and then that pod would then feed a tree. And then you would decompose into the pod and then become food for the tree. That sounds nice to me. I just wish that I would rather not have chemicals involved in any way. I don't like the idea of making the earth shittier with getting rid of my body. When there's like, it does it naturally. Like we have a way of getting rid of bodies and it's not
but guess what? There's enough fucking dogs and cows out there. You're not really doing anything to help the earth. I'm going straight dissolved now. 100% dissolved. Wait till they get a load of me. How long does it take to dissolve? That's the fucking main question.
I hope it's 2 minutes. That's crazy.
It's this machine itself looks kind of fucking creepy. The dissolving machine.
Well, no machine like that dissolve. Patrick in Houston.
Hey, they actually do have places where you can donate your body, and, they put you out in the field and you decompose, and then they study it for, like, crime scene investigators.
Yeah, that's not what you want.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want anyone poking around with a stick at
How
me.
did she die?
Well, I mean, you either get put in a box or you get out in the open and poked around with
Yeah,
sticks.
I understand. You're not giving us a lot of fucking choices. We get it, Patrick. Just fucking, take the bass out of your voice.
Do I have to answer right now? I mean, Patrick seems like, look, I gave you your fucking options, dude.
Ray in Georgia.
Hey, the other guy said what I was going to say, but you can be cremated now and mixed in a tree planted with grass.
Okay.
Cremated with a tree? What did he say?
Yeah, who cares? Here's Chris, California.
Hey guys, why don't you go the Osama bin Laden round, just get buried at sea?
Well, that way you'd have to, commit such a crime that they don't want to find you. Buried at sea sounds nice. I'd like to be buried, I don't know, 6-7 feet off the fucking Wildwood Beach. Just come in with the tide.
But then, weights at your feet so it looks like you're standing, just drifting.
I like that. Like a buoy. Fucking, you can come and tie your boat up to me.
That doesn't sound so bad.
No,
and
not
it's
at all.
fun for the kids,
Could I just be filled with helium and float over a fucking football stadium?
Holy shit.
That doesn't sound bad.
That's pretty good.
Here's our buddy Captain Stacy. Hey, Captain.
Hey, folks. Hello, yo.
Hey.
In University of Tennessee, they have what we call the Body Farm, which is 23 acres, and you can donate your body to science there, and they will take it and place it out in the field or in a car, somewhere like that, and use you for scientific to test how long it takes for you to decompose.
Yeah, I hate the car one. That's definitely not.
Could I be the trunk?
It's kind of funny.
Oh, we can put you in the pond and pull you every 6 months and check on you.
Yeah, none of these sound great, and that's not quite the hippy dippy version that I wanted in my mind. It's just having wolves eat me.
I'll try harder to win your heart later then.
All right, Captain. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Peace. Angel, what's up?
Hey, Ron. They do have those burial places. It's called green burials. You can look them up. They have a place in Texas and they have one in New Jersey.
Yeah, but then they want to come by and see if your body's decomposing the way they think.
It seems like some of us are going to be in cars.
And in cars.
As long as that's playing on a loop while I'm in the car.
You'll have a fucking drive-through funeral. People just drive up. Oh, she looks so nice sitting there. Drive away.
No, it's set up like a park, and you get a spot.
Yeah, I get it.
And you naturally decompose, and flowers grow on you, and everything.
Okay.
See, that sounds nice. That's what I'm looking for. Now the car is kind of growing on me when I listen to this.
This will be playing. Hey, look, it's Julian from Lewis, Delaware.
Hi, Rob.
Hey, sweetie.
Hey, I wanted to say there's actually this like African, I don't know if it's a tribe or something, but they have these like really weird caskets that they build like in the shape of everyday things like cars, fish, airplanes. Like it's really very strange, but it's part of their culture. I don't know. I forget where it is.
It's that version of a mafia funeral where they'll just everybody's like, hey, he like cards, so I got flowers shaped like cards. Then my brother got a martini glass flower for him. Yeah, they're fucking crazy in Africa. Let's fucking Black Hawk down.
What about one that just looks like a piñata?
That's Mexican or Costa Rican.
Love pinatas.
Do they? Costa Ricans?
Not sure. I'm just assuming.
Why wouldn't you learn a little bit instead of
Yeah.
assume?
Tell us anything about her culture.
There's rainforests in Costa Rica.
What's the capital?
San
that's
Domingo.
That's just fucking racist. That's
Not really sand.
Costa Rica City.
Julian, how's your boyfriend doing? Is he producing any big movies?
Actually, we're going to go see the eclipse in Eastern Oregon. We're driving up on Saturday, so we're going to try to go catch the totality and film that.
Yeah, I hear Oregon is going to be crazy. Like they don't even know how to estimate how many people are going to show up for this. You're perfectly on the line there to see the total eclipse.
Oh, here's really good news. Bonnie Tyler is going to be singing Total Eclipse of the Heart while it's happening.
Yes. Singing it live.
Yeah. And I think they said on a boat, which is really weird.
That
But I'm going to go. I'm just going to do it. Now, how are you going to look at the sun? Have you figured it out?
Well, we have glasses, and with our cameras, we have filters that are appropriate to look.
I am going straight telescope. I'm just putting the telescope up to my eyes.
That's the opposite of what you should be doing.
Contrarian.
Yeah, but it should be great. I don't know. I don't expect it, but it's going to be a great drive, if anything.
Oh, yeah, it'll be a beautiful drive. How long is it going to
Great
take
American
you?
road trip.
How
It's
long-
about a 15-hour drive.
Jesus Christ. Next time you take that drive, do it in a plane.
Just cover the sun with your thumb then, at that point. That's
Act like you're
about
squishing
right.
All right, talk to you later, honey.
All right, thanks. Bye.
I got this from a person who wishes to no longer live a public life.
Mhm.
Tell your two fucktard producers Maury Amsterdam lived to be 87. He died in 1996. How hard is it to hit Google?
Noted.
Really? Because it's never going to come up again. That's the fucking problem with your noted. Vito, you don't have a response to this?
I didn't know how to spell Maury Amsterdam.
There's going to be some major changes after Labor Day. First of all, no wearing white. That's the number one change.
What about the shoes? Can the shoes be white?
Sneakers, yes. The other, just hard shoes, never white. Unless it's your communion. And you white those feet away. Dave, Ontario, what's up?
Yeah, I was just calling to say you can get cremated and put into a fake coral reef.
Why is it fake?
Yeah.
Well, it's like a big cement block, and then they just put your ashes in it.
Yeah.
It's a block then, not a coral reef.
But like, if you wanna visit
they put it in the ocean, dum-dum.
That doesn't make it a coral reef.
Jerk off.
I threw a fucking quarter into the ocean. Is that a coral reef?
Guess so, according to this guy, Ron.
Okay, easy, Chris.
Hello, dum-dum.
LT, Iowa.
Yeah, Ronnie, how about like being fed to pigs? I mean, it's kind of clean. The pigs get something out of it.
Mm-hmm. Then they make you into bacon, and you know what I mean?
And then you give back, though.
Yeah, I guess you do. You give back to a fat kid.
Yeah, I mean, some of these more disturbing ones I'm not into. I just meant natural process.
No, that's disturbing. The natural process is already disturbing. Because then when I was a kid, I hated that the worms crawl in.
Yeah.
Ugh, I hated that fucking song.
Into your nose and in through your ears or something.
No, none of that.
Doesn't that happen in the song?
Through your belly and out of your mouth or something?
Yeah.
I mean, just
I knew there were
it's not body parts, it's fucking lyrics. We're going to break here, Bennington. Hey, it's the Bennington Show, Thursday. Tomorrow, we've got a special show that runs at 2 o'clock. It's Greg Giraldo, A Life in Comedy. Great performers on there with us. Make sure you hear this one. I want to check with my buddy Lewis right off the bat here. He's got concerns about the total eclipse of the sun. Lewis, what's up?
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, I'm actually really worried about those damn eclipse glasses. I didn't know that they were just cardboard, like the 3D glasses that
they're basically 3D glasses. Yeah.
Yeah, that is. I think like once the wind picks up, those things are going to fly right off, and you're probably going to have just like a lot of people going blind on that day.
I don't know. You got to look at the sun for a long time before you go blind.
But it would be weird if that happened just like right on the same line of the eclipse, just like a strip of people all the way down. Like there's a whole section of people that was just blinded at once.
Yeah, because I thought the problem with it was that it's not about looking up at the sun. It's more of like when you have the eclipse like that, whatever the hell that thing is around the sun, that gets maximized, and that's how your eyeballs burn out.
I don't think you can. I'm going to just say them right now. I'm going to stare at it just to prove that you can. It's 2.5 minutes. How burnt can I get? I'll put a magnifying glass.
We're going to be safe here because it's not going to be like a full eclipse here, but yeah.
Well, why? I mean, you're still staring at the sun.
I don't know, man.
What are we getting? A partial here?
Yeah, we're getting like I don't know what percent we are here, but it is a partial.
4%.
Like 70-something percent.
70?
Oh, that's still pretty good.
Yeah, I'm just not looking up at all. That's my plan.
I've been around for.
I'll watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, I've been around for solar eclipses. I've been around for lunar eclipses. And I'll just say this: they're both dull as shit. But I do like when radio stations play Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah, that's
when
pretty
there's
cool.
an eclipse. Yeah, we're going to
get 2 this year, so be ready.
I mean, I'm super fucking ready. I mean, I'm going to tell you the truth. I probably wouldn't look at the sun even if they were showing a movie on it. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
So far
that
away.
sun's been around for a long time.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
All right.
I learned my lesson as a kid.
Peace.
All right.
Maybe I'll just go underwater and watch it from a pool with those kind of glasses.
Well, these kids these days won't get off their smartphones to even look at a solar eclipse.
In my day, we had to fucking play electronic football. So I don't even understand this. Madden. You keeping up with my favorite show?
Hard Knocks?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen the latest episode, but I've started.
You're fucking missing it, dude. $1,000 are going all the way this year. They got everything. They got heart. They got soul. They got.
You're making me think. Maybe this is their year.
They have not been in the playoffs in 10 years, and I mean, this whole league is set up so you go to the playoffs no matter who you are. But when I see the heart and soul of that team, and they got, they got some good receivers. That kid's a good quarterback. I don't know what the hell else is happening.
The running back's not bad. Doug Martin.
You say not bad. Wasn't he the best running back besides the
years
fucking baby Peter or whoever it was?
You couldn't do better, Chris.
No, I couldn't. I couldn't do better than Doug Martin.
That's not where I want your head right now.
All right.
I want you thinking strongly about yourself. I want you feeling like you can be anything you want.
Well, I did have this very strange dream the other night where I'm watching television. And the TV, the president's on the TV. Like, it could be any president. It wasn't Trump, wasn't Obama. It was just the president.
First of all, you fell asleep with MSNBC on again.
So the president's on TV.
It was Bill Paxton. Or
good.
Pullman. I can't remember which.
He was Pullman. Paxton died.
So the president's on TV, says, I'm resigning from my office, and I want Chris Stanley to be the next president of the United States.
Let me say two things. Number one, you're an egomaniac. Number two, it ain't up to him. You just can't fucking pick somebody at random.
That is the dream of a little kid.
Yeah,
like that's a little kid like, me? I'll be president?
On live television.
And then everyone puts you up on their shoulders and carries you to the White House.
I used to have this fucking fantasy when I was a kid of, Ron, you had an uncle died and he left you so much money. And part of my fantasy was this: why is there a big parking lot in front of the house? And he goes like this: that's not a parking lot. Those are your cars.
Oh my God.
And I was like way too little. And I'm like, oh my God, this is great. But why would I have a trillionaire fucking relative that I never heard about or met? And why would he pick me?
But I do really appreciate the drama of what's this parking lot?
Yeah.
That's not a parking lot, son.
Oh yeah,
those are all yours. I mean, that's hilarious.
When I have daydream, I need everything worked out, and I've had daydreams. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not even an Olympic year. Fuck, I can't work that. I'm like, why can't? If you're already making this thing up in your head, what is it? Why don't you change the Olympic year?
Oh my God, I had like my best reoccurring dreams as a kid were always that I was Peter Pan. Like, not just that I was flying, like that I was.
Butter or
I was the dude, Peter Pan. And I don't know why I couldn't just fly as me or be friends with Peter Pan. Like, I was like the new Peter Pan.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
And you would dream that?
I would dream that. And actually, the first nightmare that I can ever remember, I was Peter Pan. And in the dream, Captain Hook came out. I mean, I must have been like 4 years old. And Captain Hook comes in and says, oh, like, you'll fight against me. Well, look who I have. And then my mom comes in, and she's also dressed like a pirate. And I'm like, no!
You just did one of those girl reboots.
Exactly. I rebooted Peter Pan. Dude, but that was my biggest fear, was like, I was Peter Pan, but my mom was on the side of pirates.
First of all, you were correct. When I was a kid, they used to rerun the musical Peter Pan, which was really like they just shot the play.
Yeah, that's really where my obsession came from, is I watched that a ton as a kid. And she was a girl. I can't remember. Which actress was that?
Mary Martin.
Yeah.
She was the mother of Larry Hagman.
Yes.
And there was always, and I don't know whether it was Urban Myths, but they were like, they played the play last night on TV. And 400 kids broke their legs jumping off of couches and roofs. And I don't know whether that was true, but everybody was saying
I can fly.
Yeah. Kids are so fucking stupid.
I mean, they are fucking dumb as hell.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
They're fucking ridiculous. But nowadays, they'd rather do it on their smartphone, you know?
Kids don't even break their legs anymore.
In my day, we had to plug in an Atari, so it's fucking wrong. I mean, nowadays, you send the kids to his room. It's like being on a vacation. You know what I'm saying, folks?
It's like you just sent them to the arcade.
And then in the rest of the president's dream, everyone was...
God, back to you again? Five minutes, we were off you.
You know, I noticed you didn't say anything about my Peter Pan dream.
No, because he was...
You know what I mean?
He was waiting
going,
for you to
President
stop.
Dream, President Dream.
Go ahead, what happened? What did you do? You ended up not being able to pass health care?
Everyone was confused as to who Chris Stanley is. They looked into me, and they ruined my
Ew.
life. Because they thought, what is this guy, like a pedophile rapist? From like all this shit on the air.
Oh my
What the fuck?
God,
No,
dude,
you-
you just confessed.
Do you see how he had to add because of all the shit in the air?
Dude, you just confessed. Like, you're always saying, why do I have to defend myself?
Yeah.
I'm not a rapist. I'm
Yeah.
not a pedophile.
Yeah.
You just confessed.
I didn't confess. This
Through
was in the context of a
dreams.
dream.
Our eyes when he said it. Oh my God, he's admitted it.
Robert. And then he even waited through other stories to say that. Robert Boston.
That was a terrible ending of that dream.
That he chose to get
Hey,
back
guys.
to that.
Yeah.
I have the reason why the eclipse burnt out your eyes.
Okay.
Basically, what happens is normally when you look at the sun, your eyes constrict, your pupils. But when it's dark, they dilate, and that makes it so all of the cosmic rays you normally would be protected from, you're not. So that's what makes you go blind.
Dude, I'm gonna prove that isn't true by staring directly at the sun.
I'm worried about this
Well,
experiment you're doing.
Don't be worried. I'm gonna try to get on America's Got Talent by doing it.
That is
And if I
talent.
can, I'm gonna get on Funorama.
Or at least that superhero show where people have superpowers.
Oh, I thought that was Funorama. What's that one then?
That's like the one where everyone was doing.
No, Amazing Aliens. What is the name of it?
I don't know what the name of it. It's like something about having superpowers or super
comes to the
strength.
same thing.
Superhuman.
Yeah.
Superhuman. Yeah, that's it.
Good. All right, we got the correct shit. That's good. Rose, San Francisco.
Hey, what's going on, you guys?
I don't know.
I'm a little late. I called in originally to talk about the whole death thing and
That's
how
fine.
you do your memorials.
Perfect.
But I wanted to make a comment about Peter Pan and Mary Martin and that particular thing. That had such an impact on me when I was a kid. I had long hair down to my butt, and I begged my mom and dad to cut my hair short so that I could be like Peter Pan,
Pixie cut,
be
yes.
like Mary Martin. And I finally got my wish, and I still couldn't fly. But it was a very liberating experience nonetheless. Anyway, the one thing that I wanted to say about the whole death thing and the like making memorials and things like that, the thing that I kind of think about, because I'm in my 60s and I think about stuff like that, like what kind of music I want to have played.
Right.
I've already picked out the music I want to have played. And when I think about the best of all possible ways to go, I think about how Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis took her son's ashes out to sea and let them just kind of blow in the breeze until they were all gone.
They could've
That was,
just
to
left
me,
them in
the
the
most emotionally releasing spiritual thing. And I don't know if I can do that, but there's a bluff on the cliff near where I live, so that if I want to do that, I can do that. But I know the music I want to have played.
What do you
And
want to
it's a good
play?
thing to think about, you know?
Yeah. What do you want to have
It's,
played?
it's realistic. It's going to happen, you know, so why not plan it
What
so that everybody
music?
can have a good time?
What tunes you playing?
Pardon?
What songs?
Okay, the song is John Fahey, who is a guitarist who died some years ago, and the song would probably be Jesu Joy of Man's Desiring, the way he did that. And it was a really fine version. And just about anything he played would be good, but that's the one that comes to mind.
I already know what I want played at my funeral too.
What's that?
Ooh ee ooh ah ah ooh ee walla bada bing bang. Like everybody sit through
Whatever,
that.
you know.
Just look over like he got
Whatever
us one more
floats your
time.
boat, you know?
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Rose.
I was thinking the thong song, but now that I hear
Thong, thong, thong. Would you want a song played?
Yes, I would.
What?
Yeah. I used to think that what I would want played is the band the night they drove Old Dixie down.
That's odd.
But in today's climate, maybe I
Right.
need to
No.
rethink it.
They're trying to change our history. They're changing our history. Where it is.
I mean, I am a Southern belle by birth.
What about you, Chris? Is there a song?
As a teenager, I wanted Teenage Wasteland to be played.
That's a long song. Bong, bong, bong.
You should probably learn the title.
Yeah, you should learn the title. Bubba Rose. Bubba
Please don't make me think of that.
I think Into the Mystic would be.
Yeah, that's the perfect
But I'd
song.
want somebody to sing it. Somebody who doesn't want to sing. You know what I mean?
Oh, right.
Like, just now be like, and Chris Stanley will sing Into the Mystic.
This is like that time you became president.
Bieber boom, chumbatin.
What's he say?
Junction Bunksons and the sun.
Chris, at my funeral, would you sing Tom Waits' "Come On Up to the House"?
Well, not a dull. First of all, I'm just leaving. I'm gonna beat the traffic.
Where's Ron going?
But Chris, you have to do an impression while you do it. Like, you can't sing it in your voice. Come on up to the house.
I think I've been kind of depressed with you keep talking about your funeral.
No,
it's bummed me out a little
you guys
bit.
are gonna be sad if
I got that and the Barcelona stuff playing. It's
I know.
just too much.
I'm keeping my back to it.
Yeah.
Maybe at 3:00 I'll turn around and take it in, but I can't right now.
I do not like a terror attack.
It's like
Just don't like
one of
them.
my least favorite things.
Yeah, mine too.
That and watermelon. I just don't like it.
Well, you're making a giant mistake there because it's so much better than terror. Jackie, you too?
Yes, 2 p.m.
In the building?
He believe is signing in momentarily. He believes.
Seriously, you know you work in radio.
Chris, I can't.
You know what? You're trying to fucking drive me bad shit today.
I'm not.
It's good, though.
I would never want to do that to you.
It's good.
Wait, what do he believe?
He believe.
You're just not trying. Are you not sleeping at night?
God, no.
Get some sleep.
Just fried.
But like, what? Why did believe even need to be in there?
Well, all right, start with he. I was going to say he's about to sign in, then I changed to, I was going to change to I believe, which became he believe. About to sign
Like,
in.
what was the accent you did it in? He's like, he believe.
Here's the thing, though. Your excuse just makes you look dumber. Hey, did you guys go back and grab that thing where you started talking Philly yesterday? Vito, did you grab that?
No, I didn't. I know exactly where it is.
You do anything I asked for?
No.
Why? Hate?
Not on purpose.
Hate?
No, I don't hate you at all.
Just say you do, and then I'll know.
I don't. I love you.
That's really nice. And probably a
That
lie.
change things for you?
If you really love me, you would just do the stuff that you swear that you're going to do.
I'm just not good at love.
No, that's true.
That is so sad.
Yeah. You know what? Your lack of love killed your dad, and now you're working on me with it.
Vito, please stay away from my dad.
It's Vito's fault. That's going to be my last words.
I couldn't live with that.
Matt in Idaho.
Hey, what's up, Ronnie B? Hey, gang.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, just wanted to call about that eclipse.
Yeah.
So border towns here in Idaho, along the Oregon border there, scuttlebutt is they're shutting down. The police are getting a lot of calls about animal sacrifice laws.
Well, it's not an animal sacrifice if you just eat the food. I'm going to kill a chicken out here.
It's my business if I want to rub that blood on my face. That's what I want to do.
But they're also serving watermelon, so I don't think you'll like it.
They say some of these little towns are just going to get overwhelmed with people. But I'm saying this.
Yeah, they're deploying the National Guard.
I doubt it.
Really?
I'm like, what kind of idiot wants to go to a total eclipse?
Did you see this guy who had made a Craigslist ad for Conceive with Me on the total eclipse?
Well, first of all, I fucking love the idea.
Yeah. And he
we'll
was
bring
like,
the devil into.
he was talking like, I'm pure blood, well-bred man seeking same lady who wants to conceive during the total eclipse. I think he's trying to make, I'm guessing, the Antichrist is his hope. He seems like a dark lord.
I'm going to probably do the same thing during this eclipse as I did during the last one.
What's that?
I fly my Learjet up to Saratoga to see the total eclipse of the sun. I guess I'm where I should be all the time. That's when I'm not wife of a close friend.
Wife of a close friend. You know, like, I brought that up as like one of my favorite total eclipse songs, but there's only one tiny line.
That's plenty though.
That's enough.
Somebody I heard singing at one time said they saw clowns in their coffee.
Clowns in my coffee. It's terrifying.
Yeah. By the way, clouds in my coffee is just as stupid.
Yeah, none of it really makes sense.
No. But she's never had to work another fucking day. Francis, Long Island.
Hey, buddies. Listen, do you think this is the best time to commit like a bank robbery or like a big jewel heist there in this?
No, I think it'd be better to do it at night.
Stealing all of Chris Stanley's money.
If you do it at night, you'll have a lot more time. than if you just try to do it during the 2 minutes of eclipse.
Are you sure? Because all of those security cameras are solar powered.
My prayer is once the sun is eclipsed, it never comes back. And it just stays there in front of it's stuck.
We just live in a dark world.
Yeah. Dark, but not totally dark.
Right,
You know,
just
there's
dim.
some outside of... You still get the ring of sun or ring of fire, as I call it.
And then it's bullshit because we just spend our lives never able to look up, which I hate.
Vito, could you find out if our guest is here and whether I should break or not?
Spencer is with him right now.
So the answer is I need to break, right?
Yes, we need to break right now.
But why do I have to ask you that?
I should have told you. There's no reason you should have asked me that.
Yeah, because I don't want to leave him waiting. It's Jackie the Joke Man Martling. Right back, Bennington.
Welcome back to Bennington. Jackie the Joke Man Martling's in the studio.
Yeah!
Listen to the guitar playing with the vibrato going. I love that.
Jackie's performing this Saturday, August 19th at 8 p.m. at the Kennett Flash in Kennett Square, PA.
I have to correct that. 7:30 and 10. Yeah, the second show.
7:30 and 10. Second. All right, so things are going.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, doing good.
My friend Rich Harkaway on the show. He's drawing at least 2 people.
Go to jokeland.com for tickets and all of Jackie's dates, and go to JackieTheJokeman.com to pre-order Jackie's autobiography, The Joke Man, From Bow to Stern.
Yes.
I get the stern part, but what's bow?
Bow to stern.
Yeah, but
front to back.
Okay, yeah, I get
The
that.
bow to stern is from beginning to end.
Yeah, but I get the tie-in with stern, but you should have a bow early on in your career.
Well, I've been taking bows since I came out, for Christ's sakes, Bennington. I'll tell you, I just got done doing the audio version of my book at Audible. And before you do that, I don't know about anybody else, but I was weirded out. I'm like, how horrible. This is going to be like going back to college, taking a course you don't like. It couldn't have been more enjoyable, sitting there and just reading, and it flows, and the guys were great. And what I love when something you think is going to be a bad experience winds up being completely positive. But I was thinking this morning, it's funny. This is an anecdote that isn't going to last forever because, the older we get, the further things are in the background. Right. I eventually take out the Liberace references, and I feel like Alan Funt just walked in and looking at blank faces. But so long ago, 86 or 87, so long ago, that I was still renting a house with my soon-to-be wife, Nancy, that Howard, Robin, Fred, Gary, the whole gang came to my 4th of July party. And my parents, they used to talk about Jackie's parents sitting in lawn chairs for years and years, because at this party, they were actually sitting next to each other. How that happened, I'll never know. But my mother and father sitting next to each other in the backyard in their lawn chairs. And Howard and the gang got there. And at some point, I said, Howard, come on, you got to meet my father. And to this day, I never asked him. I'll never know whether this was off the top of the old Martling head or something he had in his holster for years or a couple of years. But we go walking back. My parents are sitting there. And I said, Howard, this is my father. Pop, this is Howard. And my father reaches out his hand and says, so nice to meet you, Mr. Cosell. And Howard looked at me and said, he's your father.
Yeah, that's great.
But how long the Cosell references will last, who knows? But that's a. Now, did he think of that off the top of his head?
I think he did. I think he thought, how good. But let me check with Vito. Vito, do you know who Howard Cosell is?
Yeah, the radio announcer.
The radio announcer.
From the Mets old station, WFAN and WOR.
What? Howard Cosell, Monday Night Football.
Speaking of sports,
Monday.
See, it's not his fault.
Yes, it's not his fault.
It's a good thing I got that stupid story in.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, God, I thought he was the old radio announcer from the Fan. Oh, Jesus Christ.
So I got a joke for you. So a guy wakes up in the hospital bed, and there's the nurse looking down at him, and she says, you're not going to be able to feel anything from the waist down. You're in a terrible accident. He says, well, then can I squeeze your tits? All right, I won't do that anymore.
No, that's good.
Thanks for having me back, man.
Yeah. Now, you said that you were having lunch with someone that's going to impress us or baffle us.
Bernie Burns. He was a comic whose father was a cantor and came up at the exact same time as Jackie Mason a million years ago. And a couple other guys, Mike Fine and what's his name? I'm having a brain fart.
Yeah.
They said, Bob Greenberg, they said, you got to meet this guy. He's a pip. He's 89 and he looks 60, but he's telling not Jerry Lewis stories. He's telling Danny Lewis stories. You know what I mean? Jerry's father, Mickey Katz, Joel Gray's father.
Right.
And it was just, and stories of Yiddish theater and way back Catskills and the, what were they called? The little shows that they did, the bungalow shows.
The bungalow shows where you weren't even big enough to play the main rooms.
I was just totally enamored. So I thought you might go, oh, Bernie Burns.
No, I don't know him.
Nobody did. I had no idea.
But I just heard of Jeffrey Gurian 2 days ago. So what do I know?
Well, I'm sorry.
No, are you still a friar? Do you still run in that world, the Friars Club?
I am still a friar. They had a lot of trouble. I don't know what's going on exactly. I got a little pissed off, but and I stood our ground a little bit. But who knows? And I said, you know what? I just want to go there and have lunch and go hang out with the gang.
Yeah.
Who cares? Let everybody have their politics. God knows who needs politics. People tell me how lucky I am that I do the act I do, because what I'm doing is at such a premium because everything is such a fucking mess.
Yeah, it is. It's terrible.
That to just get up and laugh at poo-poo and caca and wee-wee and dick and vagina is like, it's such a respite,
Yeah.
Penn Jillette did. I got a book coming out right after Joke Man About a Stern called Jackie Jokes. The ultimate collection. And it's really is an incredible collection of jokes. And Penn Jillette did the foreword. And it's such a glowing, nice foreword, but he just told it like it is. He says, Jackie doesn't purport to be anything than what he is. He takes the greatest jokes and makes the greatest versions, and he tells them better than anybody and collects, and I love him. It was just sweet, And he said I can't call him a genius because I'm not stupid.
But you are never like other comics. You're never banging your head for material. But I'm going to ask you: have you ever had what you would consider a bad show? Could that happen to you now? Go up and tell these great jokes and.
Well, we all know that there's always one person laughing.
Yeah.
No, you know what? I haven't had a bad show in so long, but I never say that. And I have such trepidation every time. They always say, if you're not worried before a show, get in the show business, Like they had to throw Red Skelton out there. They literally had to push him on stage. But you get nervous. You think, well, once you get known, you don't have to be nervous. But the truth is, the better known you get, the more pressure you feel that you really want to give the. If somebody's paying $4, who cares? If somebody's paying $35 to see it, you want to make them laugh their balls off, and you want to give them everything you got. And in the back of your mind, wait, you've been doing this 40 years. You've been working very hard to make sure you serve it up good. Relax. And then the other voice goes, shut the fuck up. If I want to worry, I'm going to worry. But no, you don't have bad shows. There might be a few people not laughing that makes you crazy. I had a show years ago at the Florida Comic Strip, which was the greatest club in the world. And I have a terrific story about that if you haven't heard it. But 450 people, and it was a T. It was like long in front of you and long to the side. You had 450 people on Saturday night, and we all killed, just destroyed, And I went up and I am making mincemeat out of this room. And there's a table right ringside, 6 or 8 people, and they're not budging. And, people have always talked about the first time I saw the Steve Allen book, the chapter that Bill Cosby did was called The Face. Because every comic, you're doing a show, if there's somebody not laughing, you see them. And you can't not see them. That's all you see. You're working to them. It's part of the neuroses. But I got 6 or 8 people and I'm killing myself and everybody's dying and they are just sitting there. And I'm like, what are you going to do? So I'm selling my crap at the end of the show. I've probably got 2 albums out and I'm sitting there selling my LPs for $5 a piece. And one of them comes up to me. We just want to thank you. We've been in town all week for our favorite uncle's funeral. And this is the first time we've been out having fun, and it was the greatest. I'm like, Why the fuck didn't you say something? I'm ready to know where you people coming from, a funeral? And they really were. But that's bombing. Is the 6 or 8 people?
Right.
It was. Some shows are better than others. I just got back from there's a comedian. I just got back. I was in Boston, and I did 5 shows in 4 days with Lenny Clark, who's amazing. Great. And Christine Hurley, who's amazing. And it was the 3 of us for 5 shows, and we destroyed the place. And, the first show Saturday night was so unbelievable. The second show was really, really great. But it wasn't the first show.
Right,
So
yeah.
it's kind of weird. It's like that show on its own terms was unbelievable. There was a group, I shouldn't say the name. I don't know if they're alive or dead. But there was a 2-man act, a guy and a girl. They eventually got married. It was Bobby Allen Brooks and Shira somebody. Mm-hmm. And they worked at the comic strip, so Richie Tinkin booked them at the Florida comic strip. And they were eating it. And I mean, they were eating it. Not a laugh for a half hour. And, comics love watching that. Sure. Oh, it's just a joy. And the guy who ran the place, the manager, Joe Mullen, was this little angry Irish guy. I don't know if you ever heard stories about him, but he's amazing. But he told me this story after about the 6th night. Everybody worked 2 weeks. You worked a week and then another week for $600 in 20s, cash. $600 in 20s, $600 in 20s. So it was almost the end of the week, and he called Bobby Allen Brooks and Shear, whatever his name, into his office. And he's this little angry Irish. Listen, I think you should go. And they don't hear him. No, Joe, we've only been here a week. We have another week. Nah, you should go back to New York. No, we've been here for a week. We're booked for a second week. You're not getting me. You should go. And they're like, no. And Joe said to them, all right, let me put it like this. If you're ever offered a job in the post office, take it. Listen to this. Just, because when you 2 walk on that stage, you're trespassing. That is the worst thing I've ever heard.
It's funny. It's like South Florida doesn't have a club now, and that, it seems like the history is there.
There was so much history, and they did this book on the comic strip, but there's nothing about Fort Lauderdale because Joe and Richie split on very bad terms, and everything happened. Right. Everything happened at the Florida comic strip, and the old New York Comedy Club in Boca Raton is now the Black Box. And the guy, Jeff Singer, books acts, and I think he's got Dice this weekend. He brings some comedy, but he also brings Diana Ross impersonators, so it's not a comedy club per se. And I'm going down to the Meisner Auditorium, but that's a one-off, one-night show. Right. There's no place, there's probably improvs and stuff like that, but right in the heart of Fort Lauderdale and Miami, you'd think there'd be especially people want to go down. People loved going to that comic strip in the winter.
It was gigantic.
Oh, we go down there and just kill and get laid and get drunk and act like idiots. It was comedy heaven.
And then a lot of young comics came out of that place. Jeff Garland came out of there, Brian Regan, Manfilati. There's good acts because they worked with these newer comics.
Jeff Garland and me went to work his brother's prom.
Is that right?
His brother had either his brother had a prom party or for some reason, we went down and did a party for his brother connected with the prom. And I'm sure I was so drunk I don't remember what happened. But as I remember, you asked if I had a bad show.
Yeah.
I think that was it. I saw Garland a couple of years ago at one of the roasts. And you never know who's going to remember what. And he, so glad to see you. He gave a big hug because that was when he was really just starting.
Yeah.
And you really, fucked with people. Did I ever tell you I did the Brian Regan?
No.
I don't think he's spoken to me since 1979. He swept up.
Right.
And
he was
cooked
the
He
burgers.
cooked the steaks. Yeah. And Joe, the same guy, you trespassing, would give him 5 minutes on a Monday night. And then Brian was doing better and better. So Joe was going to give him 15 minutes on a Saturday night to a full house, which is heaven.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, Brian, you know, people really like it when the comedians break balls with each other. So listen, in the middle of your act, just say, I had a date with Siamese twins last night, and I'll be in the back and I'll yell, did you have a good time? And you say, yes and no. And the crowd will go nuts. And he's like, wow, that's great, Jackie. Thanks. That's so good. So he goes and he's doing great on stage. And all of a sudden he goes, I had a date with Siamese twins last night, and I yelled, how was it? He had nothing to say. He was so pissed off. Now that is a harmless prank.
It is a harmless prank, except for when you've only got 15 minutes to live for.
He's still pissed.
That's evil.
Yeah.
I've apologized to him through Rory Rosegarten, his manager. Who used to be I've sent my apologies 45 times. You know, I think at one point he mailed me some dog shit.
Rosegarten used to manage you when you're.
Rory became my manager after I had gotten the Stern Show. Many years later, we were very good friends since 1979. So he took over my bookings and everything. But then Ray went to the moon.
Right.
And it took all Rory's time. And, so I was kind of sloughed off to the other people that worked there. I don't want to give anybody a bad name, but I said, hey, I got to bail out of here. You know, he's still one of my dear friends. You know, we have a lobster once or twice a year and go out for steak and make fun of everybody, including ourselves, you know. He's one of the real good guys, and you and I both know there ain't a lot of them.
No, there isn't, but yeah, he is an amazing. Well, I mean, the fact that he's had so many clients for so many years,
they stay forever.
They stay forever, and you're right about Ray's, like that thing of he's just found the right exact thing for him.
Well, the story there is so great because they had that show and they put it on. For argument's sake, Wednesday night at 7:30.
Yeah.
It didn't fly. And then, so they tried Tuesday night at 9 o'clock. I'm making these days up. Yeah. It didn't fly. And Rory told me, he said, Jackie, they're going to give Ray's show one more shot. If this doesn't fly, he's back in the clubs. And whatever, 8:30 Monday, wherever they put it, boom. You know, and it went to the moon and made $1 billion.
Yeah.
And when it was that close, just like Seinfeld. So
Seinfeld had the same exact thing. For the first 3 years, nobody watched Seinfeld. Wow. 3 years. Yeah. And
to give you an idea how it was doing, he came on the Stern Show to promote it. And he would have rather put hot bamboo up his fingernails than do the fucking Stern Show.
Yeah. And he was uncomfortable through it all, right?
Yeah.
But he was like,
but he's so
wanted
fun.
to be a hit. Yeah.
Good
Chris, you don't plug. This is Jackie the Joke Man.
Jackie the Joke Man, Martling's in studio. Jackie's performing this Saturday, August 19th. 2 shows, 7:30 and 10 p.m. at the Kennett Flash in Kennett Square, PA, with Rich Harkaway. Go to jokeland.com for tickets and all of Jackie's dates, and go to JackieTheJokeMan.com to pre-order Jackie's autobiography, The Joke Man, Bow to Stern, and on Twitter at Jackie Martling.
That was flawless.
Yes.
You updated the times. Now do it again sincerely.
No,
that was.
But sound like you don't have a gun to your head. You know what I mean? Like
no, it was perfect. I'm kidding.
Now, have you played this place in Kennett Square?
The Kennett Flash?
Yeah, the Kennett Flash.
Have I ever played the Kennett Flash?
Yeah.
Bennington, I don't know what the fuck the Kennison Flash is. I'm not even sure it's on the map. Somebody said it's just on the other side of Kentucky. But there's a reason I'm doing it.
Yeah, what is that?
They called.
Have check will follow.
Oh, God.
Now, when the book comes up, you said you had fun doing the audio, but was writing the book, was it tough for you, or was it...
There's no answer to that, because I wrote my first attempt at an autobiography in 1975. I sat down and started writing something. Do you remember, talking about old times, President Kennedy had a hit book, Profiles in Courage.
Right.
So my autobiography was called Profiles in Discourage. Okay, it was long before comedy. And I had some of these old, great, crummy life stories that still hold up somewhere. But then, once in a while, I'd start writing a story, and then I started a lot of my stories were funny. I'd tell them to Howard. We'd sit there after the show or before the show, and you sit there and start telling stories. You know, this is the old days when we used to hang out and write. You know, Fred would tell a story, or Howard tell a story, and I would tell a story. And every time I told a story, I'd see them looking at each other and rolling their eyes, like, here he goes with his bullshit. And I'd tell these stories. But as time went on and they got to know me, all of a sudden they were like, wait a minute, these are true stories. And when they realized it, they slowly made it to the air. So they started typing them up, and then the internet hit. So I was typing up stories and posted them on my website. And then I'd write some more stories. Then I almost had a deal. In 1994, my first forward, I'm sitting here at JFK with Gilbert Gottfried. We're going out to do a show for the Superstation UPN in Las Vegas, and Rory says that Mel Berger from William Morris is interested in a book from me. And that was 94. Of course, it went nowhere. But each time somebody's a little interested, I write a little more. Right. You know what I mean? And then I almost had a deal. One guy said, this is the greatest book proposal I've ever created or seen or written. Nobody's interested. I wrote some more. Another guy, nobody's interested. So I wound up with all these stories, and then I'd write a few more. So they're all bite-sized. They're all modular pieces that are just, and I just put the year in front of each story, so it's chronological, but there's no rhyme to reason, and it's all over the place. It's 300 pages, maybe 30% me and then 70% me on the show, but I have the exact same thing, only different, already written. I have 300 more pages that's 30% me and 70% Stern Show that's ready for book 2 if anybody likes book 1. You know, there's nothing in my book about private parts. There's nothing about the jetty. There's very little about actual comedy clubs because there's so fucking much. And, you know, me, I think it's all interesting. And people say for the most part, a lot of it is. So we'll see what happens.
Dude, I've never heard you tell a show business story that just didn't lay me out. I mean, I think that you're one of the great storytellers, and maybe that could even go to the stage. Like, you could just go out and tell these stories.
I had lunch with Harvey Leeds last night. You know Harvey Leeds? Yeah. And I had lunch with him, dinner with him last night. And we had to make it entertaining for each other because Frankie and Johnny's cost more than I made last month. So we're sitting there, and all of a sudden I was talking to him. Wayne Newton came up. Because this kid has his Carson podcast. Mark
yes,
Malkoff.
I've heard of that, yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Everybody's Carson shot.
It's not just, but the Halgurneys.
Everybody.
Anybody connected at all. I listen to Pete Barbuti, and Pete Barbuti's talking about Wayne Newton and the Aladdin and Johnny Carson, which is all fascinating shit. And I'm thinking about Wayne Newton. I'm saying, and all of a sudden I said, Harvey said, shit, that's a story that didn't make it in my book. It's not really a story. But when I was with Rodney in Las Vegas, it was 1980s, Easter time, and there was a gas shortage. Now, I don't know if anybody remembers when there used to be lines around the block, and people weren't going to the next town, forget Las Vegas. So Rodney's shows are like 30% full. He says, you never saw Wayne Newton. And I said, no, I never been to Vegas. You look, come on, you got to see Newton. I know the people. I'll get you in the front to see Newton. So we go over to see Wayne Newton, and the people are 5 or 6 across, and the line is around the hotel. And Rodney's head was exploding. And I'm not exaggerating. As we're walking along, I said, what the fuck are you doing? What you going to a real show? This is bullshit. What are you doing about this show? This is horse shit. And then he started telling me, you know, Newton, he says, people come to Vegas, they for whatever the price is to come to Vegas, they get $100 in chips and they get a ticket to Newton. These people aren't paying. I'm like, okay, Rodney, calm down. So fucking fun. And I went to see Wayne Newton. And it was a thoroughly enjoyable show. And I'm sitting right there. He's open mouth kissing these old ladies in the front. I was beside myself. 5 years later, Freddie Roman's going to put me in the Friars Club. He says, you got to come with me to Westbury. I'm opening for Wayne Newton. And I go, and it's the same show. Only this time Wayne Newton had a little wink in his eye. Like he realized the goof of the whole thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? All of a sudden he got it or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe I was a little hipper. I don't know. But so all that shit was so interesting. Every time I start talking about going to Vegas with Rodney, it's all stuff that, wow.
Yeah. By the way, I'm going to just tell these two kids. Harvey Leeds is Steve's brother.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah,
'cause
that's
it
the
was
Leeds
pretty-
brothers.
Yeah.
These guys have been record guys for a lot of years. So Steve works here, and Harvey's still in the record business, right?
Well, he works at Live Nation. You know, for 30 years when Ozzy Osbourne wanted to dress up as a woman, Harvey had to dress up as a woman too. You know? Harvey, he's such a great character. He's been with everybody and done everything, and we just have always had such a hoot. And I love Steve too. You know, we all been around so damn long.
Yeah, but I always tell those guys that they could write a book too. You know, I mean, they know they know where all the bodies hit the floor.
They know where all of them are.
Yeah.
All of them. You know, but some of these people are still alive and kicking, I'm sure. So, you know, me, I don't care. I'm just writing what happened. I gave all the facts and figures of my negotiation because they've been tossing around numbers at random for 15 years. And I'm like, well, fuck them. I'm just going to tell the truth. If I get in trouble, I get in trouble. This is what I asked for. This is what they offered, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just laying it out so that, you know, and I tell the story about Rodney. You know, Jackie owes Rodney $3,000. I explained all that, you know. And like it or hate it, there's not a syllable in the book that's not true. I would go to my death, you know. So it's pretty interesting. I'm sure there's a few things in there that Howard's not going to go running around saying, hey, read this, you know.
Yeah.
But so what? You know, it's great fun. Great fun.
Well, that was, you know, you've had some amazing times. Even like you said, even if it didn't happen to Jackie, you're there for it. You're around it. And you've always been had a great appreciation for the business. You love the business.
I really do. And I always have, you know, like, I love stupid things. Like, Ron and I got off the plane and we're walking through the airport in Vegas. They were, you know, the announcements came over the PA and it was Henny Youngman doing the announcements.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Roger said, you hear that? Yeah. It was my idea, you know. I said, this is Vegas, you know. Show business people should be doing the announcements, you know. Youngman, that was my idea. You know, we all do them, you know. And he was as proud of that as headlining, you know, because, you know, because he's another guy that really loves show business and really loved the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, and people, I don't know, you don't know so many of the guys. Everybody, for the most part, is not religious and aren't spiritual. You know, I was just talking to Sal from the Stern Show, and he's very good friends with the guy who's married to the Long Island medium.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he says, "No, she's amazing." I'm like, "All right, you know, I'm a mechanical engineer. You know, you're going to bend a spoon with your mind. Okay, you know, and I'm going to eat my own shit. You know, so, what the hell? Don't ever turn 69.
Right.
It was a great story.
But it was the early Vegas stuff with Rodney, stuff like that. That was
just, you know, so happenstance how that happened. I just, you know, going away and just experiencing that whole thing when, you know, I wasn't a big time comic. Like when I sold him a few jokes, I hadn't even done comedy yet. You know, I was hardly doing it. I was thinking about maybe doing it. And by the time he took me away a year and a half later, I had actually started trying to do it, you know, and it was so weird and so eye-opening. One thing that was a real disheartening in your mind, like I never thought about being a comedian ever. I didn't want to for any particular reason, but I didn't think it was an option.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I thought you got anointed.
Right.
You know, like somebody said, and you, my son, you know, when I went to college and I, you know, started getting a band together, they said, this is Nick, the drummer. And he was a nice guy, but he wasn't the world's nicest looking guy. And I said, what's your major? And he said, radio and television. And I swear to you, it hit me like, no, you don't get to choose that. You live your life. And if somebody says, you know what, you, my friend.
Right.
So that was his major. And I'm like, that's cheating. Is that the back door? Or is that the front door? You know, and it was really amazing that to think that you could choose that. And it just was so weird to think that somebody could just do what they wanted to do and follow that path. You know, And I just started another story, Ron. Well, on the way home, I'm going to yell at the endings to these stories.
But here's the thing I always remember about you is that David Say said to you, "Hey, you know, that's a pretty good joke that you told at the. I guess it was the Improv at the time.
It was Catch a Rising Star, and it was. I read in the New York Times that on Monday nights people got up and tried to be comedians and auditioned. And I didn't have any real desire to be a comedian, but I told jokes in my bands and I told jokes by myself and I told them my entire life to people. So I grabbed my friend Archie and we went in and went to the show at Catch a Rising Star and sat there, and 99% of the acts were horrendous.
Right.
You can't even call them acts. People for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
People for 5 minutes. And doing everything but hitting their heads with a spoon, you know? And it was horrible. And they're introducing, and Kelly Rogers, I remember, was the MC. He's bringing people up. And then he would leave the room sometimes to go get a drink or go get a hamburger on the other side of the velvet curtain. So at one point, 5 minutes is a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it really is. And somebody went up there and they were really eating it. So they bailed. And there's a bare stage. No MC. So some drunken girl climbed up on stage and stumbled through a horrible version of a joke. And the crowd went wild because they were so hungry to laugh. So Kelly comes back in and says, "Thank you very much, sweetheart. Go sit down." So she sits down. And now David Say is the MC. And he's blah, blah, blah. And he brings somebody up and he goes to have himself a hamburger or whatever. And the person bails.
Yeah.
And I could still see Archie. He said, "Get the fuck up there." So I walked up on stage and told what to me was one of the surefire but oldest, stalest jokes. Because in my mind, if you were raised in America, you knew all the jokes I knew.
Right.
We were all raised the same place. You knew them and remembered them like I did. Like, hey, why wouldn't you? That was my thinking. So I told the joke, and it's a fairly long joke. And as I'm telling it, I see David Say come back through the curtain, but he let me finish the joke, and the place went nuts. And you want to hear the joke?
Yeah.
The Italian farmer and his daughter load all the vegetables onto the wagon and drive into town, sell all the vegetables, and they get a big wad of cash. And they're coming back. And all of a sudden, bandits come running up, shooting off their guns. And he's, "Oh, no, I'm working so hard. Oh, they're going to take everything I got." And Maria says, "Papa, give me the money." He gives her the money. She lifts up her dress, and shoves the big wad of cash into her twat. And the bandits come and they search the wagon. They search them. They can't find anything, and they're all pissed off. And they take off with the wagon and the horses and leave them standing there. And he's, "Oh, they took everything. They take everything." Maria says, "Papa, I'm a saver the money." She says, "Why you talk?" She says, "Papa," and she lifts up her dress and takes out this huge wad of bills. He says, "See, Papa, I'm a saver the money." He goes, "I'm money." Oh! She says, "Papa, I'm a saver the money. Why you cry?" He says, "If we had brought your mama, we could have saved the wagon and the horse."
That's great.
So as we're leaving, David Say, who wound up being a very good friend of mine, says, "That was a pretty good joke you told there." I said, "What are you talking?" He says, that joke. He brought the place down. That's a really funny fucking joke. I said, "Yeah, but you knew that joke." He said, "Nah, I never heard that joke." I said, "You know," and I'm telling you, a light bulb went on over my head. I'm like, if the MC at Catch a Rising Star in Manhattan, New York, hasn't heard that joke, maybe there's other people that haven't heard that joke. I know nobody in the audience had heard that joke, and it turns out nobody had heard any of the jokes. The people that had heard the jokes, number one, didn't remember them, or number two, if you tell them well enough, They just laugh. So many people
Right.
tell me, you're in the middle of a joke, and I'm laughing already, and I realize I know the joke.
Yeah.
I'm still laughing.
But a lot of times they hear it from their uncle or somebody who doesn't deliver a joke properly. Like, there's very few people who are like,
Sure.
I'm going to really present this joke the way.
Oh, yeah. People in bars give jokes such a bad name because between being drunk and not knowing the joke, they go around the block 3 times. And the same with Playboy. Playboy's party jokes. You know?
Right.
The lovely young stewardess, sashayed into the bar and said, "Excuse me there, my friend behind the bar. Would you be so good?" Shut the fuck up. Girl went into the bar and said, "Bartender, give me a drink."
Yeah, right.
I cut off all the chaff,
Yeah.
So 69 years of... That's what I do is change it to bartender.
Jackie the Joke Man Marling's in the studio. Jackie's performing this Saturday, August 19th. 2 shows, 7:30 p.m. and 10 p.m. at the Kennett Flash in Kennett Square, PA with Rich Harkaway. Go to jokeland.com for tickets on all of Jackie's dates. And you go to JackieTheJokeMan.com to pre-order Jackie's autobiography, The Joke Man, Bow to Stern. And jokes are tweeted daily at Jackie Martling on Twitter.
The other thing I love about that story, those 2 MCs ended up being 2 of the greatest fucking comics that ever lived. Kelly Rogers and
great guys.
Yeah.
And great fun. And there's a great story about Kelly Rogers in the book. When I started on the Stern Show, we started doing Stump the Comedian. I used to play Stump Jackie at my gigs, and people give me a subject, and I try and tell them a joke. But Howard said, no, make it 2 lines. And obviously people called up. You have listeners. They call and they don't have jokes. So they said, why don't you give Fred some shows? So we started giving Fred the filthiest 2-line jokes that we could get away with on AM radio. And Fred would call up with this very tough to figure, is it a man or a woman voice, right? It sounded like a little old Jewish grandmother. That's how I heard it, but you couldn't really tell. And when we're in Fort Lauderdale on Sunday nights, that guy Joe Mullen pops into the story again. You're trespassing. We killed 2 shows, 450 people on Saturday. Sunday nights, there's 12 people there. Joe takes the night off. So while the cat's away, the mice will play. So we had a free-for-all. We got so drunk and so stoned and did each other's acts and acted like idiots up there. And Kelly Rogers used to go up and do a Catskill comic named Jackie Flemstein, which is the greatest Jewish name, Flemstein. So, and he basically probably did what is my act, jokes and being obnoxious. But it was so funny. And at some point, Fred would call as that voice. And at some point I said, I love it when Mrs. Flemstein calls. You're kind of inserting it, you know. And that's how I got myself on that show, by inserting myself here. Oh, Fred. That's great when Fred does Flemstein and not on the air. And then they say, that was Mrs. Flemstein, and she great. So at some point, however much later, I heard that, Kelly was not thrilled about the Flemstein name, but he wasn't using it for anything. And it's so funny. And it wasn't stealing. I thought it was an homage, if anything, acknowledging how just wonderful it was. And at some point, somebody mentioned Mrs. Flemstein, and where'd Mrs. Flemstein come from? And Robin said, where did we get the name Mrs. Flemstein? I said, I named her. Oh, right. What? You named her. So I'm like, this is show business. I'm in trouble for stealing the name, but I'm not getting the credit for bringing it to the fold. Like, make up your fucking mind, somebody. You can't have me both ways, which is so harmless.
But it took you a while to get really established on that show, huh? You were just adding piece by piece when you went to school.
I went in there, and at the end of the first day, I had said in my albums, it's all in the book. It's the greatest story in the book. And at the end of the first, I sat down with Howard and Fred and Robin. And at the end of the 3 hours I was there, Howard said, "You're a lot of fun. Come back next week." I'm like, wow, And at the time, I still have 922-WINE, 516-922-WINE, still my dirty joke line. You call right now, you'll hear the same ad that you're doing with dick jokes. And it was unbelievable how much he plugged me. And at the time, I'm running Governor's Comedy Shop, and he's saying, "Governor's Comedy Shop, Jackie's the best comedian, blah, 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 blah." And governor's phone's off the hook. The 922 wine is blowing up. And they said, all right, come in again next week. And in the middle of the week, Howard calls me and says, I got some bad news. And I'm like, well, it was 2 great weeks, And he says, I can't plug 922 wine anymore because the jokes are too dirty and they're getting complaints. I said, is that it? He says, yeah. You still want to come in? I said, fuck 922 wine. Fuck it, man. Yeah. Who the hell cares about that? So the 922 wine came out of my name. And over the course, I don't know that there's a story in there about the first note I passed, but I was slowly but surely like giving them an idea or writing something down. And I know at some point we changed rooms and I made the conscious decision to actually get a stack of paper and a Sharpie so I could write an actual note, but I was like putting it right in front of him. Ronnie, it was so gradual that it's hard to believe. And then he got fired and then he got rehired at K-Rock. And I got my job back on Tuesday afternoons. And when we went there was actually a place for me to sit and and close enough that I could actually put the notes over the easel, which I don't know I'll never know if it was by design or whatever it was. And I was just there one day a week. And then they just called me on the road and said, hey, and how this is my total job description for all the millions of dollars I made. He called me up in West Virginia, in Virginia Comedy Club and said, Jackie, we're going to mornings. I need a price for 2 days a week. I want you to come in and do your thing with the notes.
Yeah.
Total job description.
Do your thing.
Do your thing with the notes. We had never discussed it or anything. Then I came in and I decided to stop going on the road. That was a whole big deal. I said, Howard, I'm not doing the road anymore. I'm available. So he squeaked Tom to do 3 days a week, 4, because he liked it. Because pompous or not, he was much funnier when I was there. It was that simple. And with the AB situation of when I wasn't there, and within no time at all, I was on 5 days a week. And all of a sudden they syndicated to Philly and Washington, D.C. And we went to Pluto. We went to fucking Pluto. And that's why I asked for a lot more money, because I had something to do with it. I wasn't 99% of it, but I wasn't just sitting there either. It had something to do with it. People that heard him in Washington said that in Washington he was outrageous and funny. And now he's funny and outrageous, which is very subtle. But, if you're laughing, you can swallow a lot more.
Right.
So.
I forgot about, too, with your joke line, that those stickers were everywhere in the country. You go into a bathroom, you go into a phone booth, and this is...
with the number on it?
Yeah, with the number on it, and people would just...
That's a whole chapter that is not in this version of the book. I had the stickers, then I made them yellow stickers. And Vince D'Antona, who has passed away, but he was ventriloquist, his father worked for some company that actually made the plastic letters and numbers that they put on planes, like American Airlines planes. Indestructible plastic. And his father printed me up 5,000 of those stickers, little yellow stickers, only they were indestructible. I don't know where they are.
Yeah.
But those things were everywhere. And comedians used to go on the road. And the stories were great. I worked Zanies in Nashville, and somebody came home and said, Jesus Christ, Martling, after the show, they took all the comics to see Barbara Mandrell's band. Not her, but her band played in the middle of nowhere somewhere. And we went out to see the band. I went in to take a leak, and there's a fucking 922 wine sticker. I couldn't believe it. But they must have taken you on the same tour, because when the band was done at 6 a.m, we all went for eggs and grits, and I went to take a leak in that bed, and that fucking sticker.
That's true. It was true. It's everywhere.
It got legendary. Yeah. It got legendary.
And you used to change that, and you still do the same way?
No. It over time, but originally it went up to 10 lines, and Nancy and me, mainly Nancy, changed those. It was 10 phone-made answering machines with 1-minute endless tapes. They were 1 minute each, and we changed them every day, 7 days a week for about 7 years, which is a Sisyphusian task. That I mean, she would One of us would get there. We'd make extra tapes. We had extra machines. The people at PhoneMate loved us. There was always machines in the shop, always buying new tapes. Then eventually, when it got to 10 lines, when I first got up to 4 lines, the machines were small enough that if I put 4 of them together, I could literally hit the record buttons of all 4 with my fingers spread out at the same time. But I'd hit it, and I'd have to run for a minute. And you couldn't stumble or make any mistake, because if you did, you had to wait for it to come around so you could start it again. And then when we got to 6 lines, we started making the dubs on a reel-to-reel. And it was just out of hand. And then Rick D's got a hold of it. The stories are unbelievable. There were 10 machines, and it was rollover. So if you called the first machine, the second one would go off. Right. If the first one's busy. And if they're both busy, the third one goes off. And then if they're all 3 busy, the fourth one goes off. But if one of them stops, it'll go to that one. You know, it would only go to the next one if the other 3 weren't, if the others were engaged. 10 lines. The 10th machine was Nancy's machine that had a 2-digit counter that went up to 99. And that fucking thing would go to 99 a couple times a day. Now think about that. Think about the wave. Right. For that machine to go off, the other 9 had to all go off within a minute. Because if any of them stopped, that would have gone. Right. Yeah. So 9 had to go off within 1 minute and it would go to 99. We got thousands and thousands of calls, and once in a while I put a Y connector in and answer the phone. Don't hang up. This is Jackie. And they usually hang up because they'd be calling from work or whatever. Yeah. Where you calling from? Alaska. Where you calling from? Mexico. You wouldn't believe it. And almost everybody had no idea who I was, had never seen a sticker, had never heard a Howard Stern or Jackie. I heard about the jokes. Yeah. I heard about the jokes. It was phenomenal. And now, then it got to be where I had a dictaphone, and there were the 10 lines going to the dictaphone. I had like 20 minutes of jokes on each line. And if you called, at any point you could press 2 and go to that line and hear those 20 minutes, or press 5 and go. That's great. And it was endless. And then everything broke up, and slowly but surely, now it's the second line in my home. Mm-hmm. I literally see the light going off and people call, because I couldn't get rid of it. Because people come up to me and say, "Yeah, I used to call that line 30 years ago." I say, "Take out your cell phone and dial it." Hello, this is Jackie and yours. I love it when you use your finger enough. They're like, "Whoa, fuck, man." And that's the only reason it's there, so I can do that.
So you can do that. Yeah.
Jesus.
Jackie, the book comes out. When exactly is it coming out now?
October 24th, but you can pre-order it. I do not know when the audio version is going to be up for pre-order, but you can pre-order it as many as you want at JackieTheJokeman.com. And I am so excited. I got book signings at Bookends in Ridgefield, New Jersey, book review in Huntington, Barnes & Noble on the Upper East Side, the Vault at Victor Records out somewhere in Pennsylvania. I got a Friars book party, and I'm going to have a regulation book party of some kind, either at the Cutting Room or maybe I'll rent Madison Square Garden. I don't know. Everybody seems to be excited about it, but
we'll get together and do something in front of an audience too one day. I would love to do that with you.
I remember what I was going to say.
Yeah.
So when I did that story told Harvey the story about Rodney, what you do, you go to a real show. He said, "That's your stage show. The stories that didn't make it into the book."
I love it. I love it, buddy.
I got to tell you a joke.
All right, we got to go quick though. So
there's this girl at the beach at a beach party after her prom, and she texts her mother. Says, "Mom, freaking out. I'm at the beach with all my friends, and we're having so much fun, but I got cum in my hair." And her mother sends a text back, "Honey, listen. Very often a guy will pull it out of your mouth and go to squirt on your face and accidentally get some in your hair. Just jump in the water. It'll wash right out." And her daughter texts back, "Thanks for the info, Mom, but I meant to type gum."
Jackie's performing this Saturday, August 19th. 2 shows, 7:30 p.m. and 10 p.m. at the Kennett Flash in Kennett Square, PA with Rich Harkaway. Go to jokeland.com for tickets and all of Jackie's dates.
And we'll see you again. All right, Jackie, let's do this again.
I love you for having me. Thank you, Gail.
All right.
You're cute.
We'll see you again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good